All right.
I never know how to start these.
Yeah, you know, it never gets easier.
It never gets
Even
more pressure, to be honest.
Right?
Yeah.
You better start it good.
You're right. I'm like, what's something clever? And then I just don't say anything.
It sets the precedent for the whole show.
That's right.
No, so thank you guys again. Everything, of course, by the time you guys listen to this, everything is up to date. We're getting pretty good. So I actually had a funny fan interaction. Well, not even a fan. I had a funny interaction in the comment section of our video.
Yeah.
So, while I'm editing everything and uploading everything, you know, there's a lot of time in between that. So when I have the time, I like to peruse and try to post the show on different pages and get our name out there, try to build views, right? So a place I like to go to, which is really risky, is 4chan. And again, I've talked about this before. I go on the B thread, the random thread, which is the asshole of the internet. Because that's like the harshest criticism you can get, man. That's like, if you post something, if you try to be heartfelt on B, you're fucked. Like, you're done. So I'm posting the show on the B thread. I post an actual thread. Nobody comments on it. It's just me, which is okay. I'm not anticipating droves of people to...
Well, they'd have to listen to the episode, which is a 2-hour long commitment.
Yeah, so it's like, we win because they listen to us just to talk shit to us. So that's the funny thing. So I was posting, and then I'm also commenting on other people's threads like, hey, if you don't have anything to do, check out our show. I'm not posting links to the video. I'm honestly just posting a picture of our logo. Oh, okay. So people are taking it into their own hands to research the show and find ways to shit talk us. Mm-hmm. So nothing really. We got one new subscriber out of it.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool. We went from 15 to 16.
Yeah.
You know, so we're fucking famous now.
Yeah.
But no, this one guy comments and he goes, "You're a fucking faggot for posting on the B thread, you autist," calling me autistic.
Oh.
And I
I've
was
never
like,
heard it that way.
Yeah, I've seen it because I've seen that phrase a lot on 4chan mostly, autist. And so I'm like, yes! I'm like, yes! I got someone!
When someone talks shit, you get it.
Yes, I was like, oh my god. So I commented back, you know, as the moniker of our page, and I put exactly the reaction I wanted. And then he put, yeah, I was going to blast you and shit, but I'm perma-banned from 4chan. Meaning he's banned from 4chan.
So how is he commenting on 4chan?
He's commenting on YouTube.
Oh.
He commented on our video.
Oh,
he commented on episode 21. So episode 21, there's a funny interaction there. I think it's funny. So I was like, okay. And I was like, damn, really? And I think he noticed I wasn't trying to engage in a battle with him. So he just didn't respond that I saw. But I was just like, yes. And as far as I know, you can only get banned from 4chan for a couple of things, and one of them is child pornography.
Oh,
so I'm like...
yeah, fuck.
Yeah. And I went to his profile on YouTube. Like, he has a few videos out there, and all of them just looked weird. So I was like, clearly I'm the winner in this situation.
I don't see it.
On episode 21, go to filters, new first, and then here it is.
Oh, there it is. Autist sounds like an Australian saying artist.
Autist?
You're an autist. But damn, really?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, man, I'm trying to hold a conversation with him. And
keep the comments up.
Yeah, pretty much. Trying to get us trending, you know? Self-bump, you know?
Oh, shit.
Fuck it.
That's so funny.
I just like the fact that he called me a faggot, man. Like, that's...
I like the fact that he called you an autist. I've never heard that one before.
I don't know, man. Like, that's... Like, I don't know. Like, when people say the word faggot to me, like, so derogatory, and I'm just like, that has no effect on me.
Yeah.
Like, it just flies over my head.
That really doesn't have the, you know, back in the day, that was a hot roller there. Like, if someone called you, no, I'm not. Like, you know.
Excuse me? Like, your whole reputation was shot.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but as a straight teenager.
But even then, the connotation was because of homosexuality, but it became this word that was just a bad, like, thing to be. Like, you didn't even think of a gay person when someone called you faggot. You didn't think they were calling you gay. It was just like, the worst thing in the world. Like, you were just so lame that you're a faggot, right? Like, that was fucking even worse than being gay. But now, really, it's like...
I don't even think gay people care about that
Gay
anymore.
people don't even give a shit about it, no.
It's like, I know so many gays that call each other fags on a daily basis, so I'm just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the phrase cocksucker has a lot more potency.
That one's... Yeah.
That one's rough.
That
but
that's more to the point.
You know, I was like, I say that one very frequently. More than I should, but that's when I'm like ultra angry. I'm like, you fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, Leslie, okay, babe.
Mine's the
calm
C
down.
word.
The C word, see you next Tuesday?
The see you next Tuesday.
Man,
that one comes out. And I used to be really avidly against that word. Like, I mean, I was like, I thought it was the worst word out there.
That's the one that was all like, ooh, the C word.
Yeah.
Don't say
Even
that.
back in the day, if I had friends throwing it out, just like kind of using it, and I'd be like, come on, like, you could use it better.
Hey, you sailors, like...
Well, I would be like, that was just really bad. You could be a lot funnier even without that. But now...
With Game of Thrones, they use that word
Game
so
of Thrones
much.
and Jim Jeffries, watching his stand-up.
Well, that is a common British expression.
Well, he's Australian.
Oh, he's Australian?
Yeah, but, right?
I don't know.
Jim Jeffries. I think he's... Because there's two of them that... Yeah, Jim Jeffries.
But I know British people use that
British
phrase a
people
lot.
and Australian people. And it really is... And he has a joke where he's like, the word cunt just doesn't have... It has a good spin to it that Americans just don't appreciate. Like... And I kind of skewed my vision on it, where I'm kind of like, it is kind of a fun word. Like, when you're not... I never call a woman, like...
Oh, yeah. That was what you don't
like,
do.
Like, that's, But, like, just in the sense of something happening, like... Cunt!
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
Yeah.
I love cursing so much. Like, you have no idea. Like, if I feel I haven't said fuck in, like, more than an hour, I have to just say, like, fuck, man. Like, God damn it. Like,
I'm the same way.
Like, I just love cussing. And I think, because I think my parents put so much emphasis on not cussing. Like, you better not say these words. I wasn't even allowed to say hell or damn.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
HE double hockey stick.
Yeah. I would say heck. Like when Van Helsing came out, when I had to say Van Hexing, I was like, I want to go see Van Hexing. And my parents were like, no. Because they thought it was super gory, but it was just PG-13. But anyway. So when I got to middle school, like, I didn't associate kids cussing, like, at all. I figured, oh, yeah. But I went to Pease Middle School, and I heard this one girl saying, fuck this, fuck that, bitch this, asshole that. And I'm like... Oh, I was like, I don't think you should be saying that. And she goes, shut the fuck up, you little nerd. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was just like, what the hell? So, yeah, my cussing started in 6th grade, based on my environment. And, yeah, I've just been cussing fool ever since.
So you remember that movie, Bedazzled?
I love Bedazzled, yeah.
You know when they make fun of him? The way you portray how you talked right there reminds me of the, oh, hey, Elliot, Swiss Elliot.
Oh, you want to go drink later? And he grabs on me, he's all like, have a nice day.
At the end.
He's like, oh,
At the end, yeah. He redeems himself.
Me, mama, Jerry. He's at the fucking vending machine. He's all, what's up, Elliot?
I don't know why you did, when you did your old way of how you would talk, it just reminded me of that.
Again, Bedazzled. If you haven't done your homework yet,
watch it. Yeah.
Watch Bedazzled. Fuck.
Give yourself a kindness.
And Starsky and Hutch. I rewatched Starsky and Hutch. I know we talked about it, but I finally sat down and watched it. Man, it's so good.
Starsky and Hutch is fun.
Will Ferrell was great in that movie. And you've seen The Hangover, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you know the wedding singer in The Hangover? At the end, racing candy shop?
Wait. Yeah, he's the same one.
He's the same one as Starsky and Hutch.
For the daughter's...
The bar mitzvah.
The bar mitzvah, yeah.
Because when he popped up, I was like... Hey!
Yeah.
I was like, that's... Well, they're both movies are directed by Todd Phillips.
Oh.
So I was like, he probably was like, hey, you remember Starsky and Hutch? You want to be another funny moment? Want to be another
He
scene
does
stealer?
a good, funny, wedding singer, too.
Mm-hmm. Singing inappropriate songs. Can you sing a song about making love?
Yeah.
He goes...
A-E-I-O-U.
Such a good film. Speaking of fun, a gentleman on an airplane got kicked out of first class, and for having too much fun, he thought. So he gets demoted over to coach or whatever, or just like the general seating area. They put him in an empty seat just somewhere. So he's all like, "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom," and he keeps trying to get up. Stewardess or flight attendants are like, no, yeah, haha, wise guy, sit back down. So he's like, fine, whatever. Like, he has to take a piss. The bright idea gets into his mind, oh, okay, yeah, I want to whip my dick out and piss, in my seat. So as he's whipping his dick out, he's trying to get people's attention. He finally grabs one chick's attention, is like, hey, look at this, and starts pissing as if, like, this is going to be like, oh, wow, you are a bold man. Like, yeah.
Yes, I'll suck it.
Yeah, way to go.
Your balls are smooth as eggs. Yes, I'll suck them.
Right? Boom, boom, boom.
Do you remember where that's from?
No.
It's a fellow show. Oh, wait, you know what? It's a stand-up, that's why.
This is a stand-up?
It's a
Okay.
stand-up, yeah.
His earlier stand-up I'm not too familiar with, but yeah, so the dude just takes a piss, relieves himself, and then so...
You know, I feel like that would be a more common thing to happen on planes, because everyone gets drunk. I mean, the common scenario is getting drunk on a plane, right? Like,
yeah.
Because you're bored, there's nothing to do, you get served these free drinks, why not, right? Like,
free drinks?
You do get free drinks. I mean, you get...
Well, sodas.
No, you get free alcohol. You can get one, and then if you want more, you have to buy it, but...
Well, I guess because I've been underage on airplanes, I haven't been offered...
When I went to Korea, I got a beer one on the way there, and then I got a whiskey on the way back. But I didn't want to drink too much because I have to keep going if I start.
Right.
And then I have to, like, go really ham on it, and I was like, I don't want to... Because I'm like, it's a 18-hour flight, I'm going to pass out, I'm going to drink till I pass out, and I'm going to wake up hungover on this fucking plane, and that's going to be horrible for everyone. Like,
right.
That's not a good time for anyone. And I still have fucking 5 hours left on the plane, so I didn't go too crazy. But that's kind of a common connotation, right? Just getting drunk on a plane.
I'm getting drunk on the plane.
I just feel like with America being as shit as it is, wouldn't there be a lot more people pissing on planes? Like,
I guess so.
I don't know.
But yeah, so joke's on him because he got arrested when the plane landed. So I don't know, man. I was like,
is there an air marshal on that? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I guess.
I would assume so. I mean, most planes have a U.S. air marshal on there.
They say that's the biggest fucking like waste of money out there.
Having an air marshal,
marshals,
just flying around.
Yeah, because the chances of them actually being on a plane that they are useful on is like so small, and we have so many of them since 9/11.
Right.
We're just and they get paid a lot. You know what I mean?
I would
to
imagine.
do, to have the training and to be able to do this, but they never end up on the planes that they need to be on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
That's crazy.
Statistics.
Stats.
Yeah.
Numbers. Fucking. I don't know. This week really hasn't been super crazy with the news aside from the Santa Fe shooting near Houston, Texas. And another mass shooting. We've been doing the show for almost a whole year now, and there's been 3. This is the third biggest mass shooting
since we started.
Yeah,
and there's been 5 total since the year for the within the year.
In 2018 or 2017 going into 2018.
2017 going to 2018.
It's crazy, It's never a fun topic, But unfortunately, that's what all took over the news here lately. Some fucking, I'm gonna call him a twerp, some little punk, decides to fuck it. Oh, a girl didn't want to date me. Die, everyone.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, I don't even have any words for it anymore at this point because and we've discussed it a lot.
There's nothing else to say.
And if you want to know my point on it, go back and listen to the episodes.
We've exhausted all we can say about it. There's not going to be any change.
There's no
thoughts
change.
and prayers
That
aren't going to do nothing.
comes up again and again.
Mass shooting, thoughts and prayers. What can we do? Nothing. And then
again and again.
Another mass shooting.
Yeah.
And again, Donald Trump, first thing to tweet, my thoughts and prayers are with Santa Fe.
Thoughts and prayers.
God bless all. Fuck you. Your thoughts and prayers do nothing, you asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, I want Trump to really I want Trump to go and talk to those victims and be like, my thoughts and prayers are with you.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Trump. That brought my son back. That brought my daughter back.
I posted I posted a meme on the page where it said, what would you put if your ex was on fire, what would you use to put him out with? And someone posted thoughts and prayers.
Man,
that made me laugh. I was like, yeah, that's a good one. Thoughts and prayers, because I didn't do shit. Like,
yeah,
of course you would.
My thoughts and prayers. Man, fuck Trump. Fuck Pence. Fuck
God, I hate listening. And I guess I'm masochistic because I end up fucking watching it. But I was watching the live, the news of it at work. Actually, it was on Facebook of Trump talking. God, I just hate him talking. As soon as he starts talking, I just go into automatic like pissed off mode. Like I can't even believe
he's such a shitty.
How the fuck
man.
did we get here? How did he get in his position?
Because we
It's
have
really
a bunch
amazing.
of fucking hicks that you'll make America great again. Oh yeah, let me fucking put on my adult diaper and run down to the voting station. You know,
It's
once
insane.
once all these fucking hicks, once all these fucking rednecks fucking die and just fucking finish off, and then the common-minded people.
They're not all dying though. Their offspring are too, though. Actually.
Yeah, the fucking inbreds, and you know what? And I'm going to talk about this because Saturday, Leslie and I, we went to go see Deadpool 2 in the morning. We stopped at Wendy's for lunch, you know, before we headed back home, and I saw something very, very beautiful. And this is where I say it. You know, children aren't born with hate in their heart. It's a product of their environment. They're taught to hate based on what they see.
Oh yeah.
So in one corner, two little black kids, a black girl and a black boy, younger age. The girl was a little bit older than the boy, but young age. On this side, there was a little white boy, little maybe 3 or 4 years old. The boy was like maybe 5 or 6. The girl like 7 or 8. Right. The little boy, the little white boy, he's just like putting binocular like with his hands to look like binoculars. He's looking around.
What a perv.
Right? Fucking So he looks in my general direction. I just wave. I'm being nice. Whatever. He's this little boy. He smiles. Whatever. Carries on with his day. Carries on with his adventure of looking through his binoculars. He looks, and I'm kind of watching him because he looks cute. You know, he's a cute little kid. So the little boy in the corner, the little black boy, is doing the same thing. And then they meet and they wave. And they're kind of like that, you know, looking around, and they're playing with each other. And then they start making funny faces, you know, and it's just really beautiful. The parents of the little white boy, you know, they're laughing. The mom of the black kids, you know, they're laughing.
Right. Fucking parents.
Yeah, right? They're like, oh,
They're all
how cute.
corny.
Corny! You know, they're all looking at each other, and it's a good laugh. And I start smiling because that's so beautiful to see. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is born, like, no white kid is born, hate black kids, you know, they're the devil, da-da-da. You know, black kids aren't born, you know, hate white people, or this, and that. You know, I know there's conversations, you know, common sense parents will have conversations, hey, look, be respectful of everybody, you know, not everybody has the same advantages as you, da-da-da. Kind of same conversations my parents had with me. Be mindful, respectful. I'm sure your parents had with you. You know, that good parents have with their kids.
Yeah.
And I told Leslie, I was like, do you see this? I was like, you see this right here? And I told her, and I got really happy because I was like, look, this is how things should be. Everybody just playing with each other. Everyone's happy. I was like, you're not born with hate in your heart.
You know what's funny is that, not funny, haha, funny, strange, if you look at it, is, so my parents, right, I can recall having these conversations where, you know, the end all is, no, everyone's the same, or we're all people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not blah, 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 but correct, right? That's
right.
True. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there's little things that you say to your children and stuff that you don't recognize or you don't think is harmful, but it is. And I'm not going to go into specifics. This isn't supposed to be talking shit about my parents, but I can recall within both of them little stories or little anecdotes or little things that kind of were said at some point in my childhood that pretty much meant like, but this is why they're different, and this is how they are, and this is how they're the real. That's why you don't really want to. We're all the same. We're all equal. That you have to respect them, but you don't really want to hang out with them because. And this is just, I mean, not black or any race, you know, whatever. Some little things where they think it's funny, or that's how, you know, that's what their parents used to say, and that's just how it is, and blah blah blah. And you don't realize that. I mean, that sticks with some kids, you know, and that really becomes their identity for this whole type of person. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
And, you know, and then I think, you know, because I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone, but, you know, I was able to make that distinction at a young age, not to hate anybody, not to hate or disparage anybody. And, you know, yeah, I can watch movies, stand-up comedy, I can watch, you know, shows where, yeah, they have, like, racist jokes. I laugh at it because, it's just a joke. Yeah, maybe it's not my race. I love when people make fun of white people. I'm half white. I know how stereotypical white people are because I'm half white. I have stereotypical white people in my family. Yeah. And I fucking laugh at it. The can't season food, true. You know, like, it's fucking true. Luckily, my mom is, you know, Mexican and knows how to cook. You know what I mean? You know, so...
Hey, what's with white people and ketchup? No, they're just kidding.
I was like, you know, Butterburger ketchup, yeah, regular Heinz, maybe not. But you know what? Like, you learn how to laugh at it. You can, if you have that understanding in your head, if you can distinct what's a joke, like what's making a playful, you know, either tasteful, distasteful joke at something, but no, it's not true.
It's true. You're right.
It's like, yeah, okay, but if you hear something and you're like, yeah, that's right. Like, jokes about locking your doors in sketchy looking neighborhoods.
Oh.
Ha ha, yeah, whatever. But there's people out there that are like, yeah, damn right.
Right.
Black people trying to steal my radio and da 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 da.
Well, so humor, right, is a big thing about having a sense of humor, and humor to the extent of even going into dark humor is considered very beneficial in a lot of different aspects of everything, right? They were like, having a good sense of humor is really, really beneficial and helpful. Personally, I struggle with where does the ball lie? Because I have a dark sense of humor, but I do tend to hide it. And I hide it a lot in this podcast. A lot of things I say here, I don't say at like certain parts of my life.
Right.
Or, there's like stages of it, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of wonder where it lies too, because like you said, it is what it is. Where if someone's making the joke about a sketchy neighborhood and locking your car door when you're driving versus someone's like, no, you really have to do that. Like, so there's that big black and white. But I feel like there are just people that live in like the gray areas where they're like, that's funny, right? Click. But yeah. And the thing is like, so they do believe it, but they mask it with humor. And then there's the opposite side where they don't really believe it, but they're just not funny either or something. It's just... Yeah. So where does the jokes help, right? And if you're not from the marginalized culture, is it okay for you to laugh at it? That's always... Because I think they're funny as hell, too.
Yeah, and I want to be a comedian. Like, and off topic here, the Leaky Barrel...
You have the hardest part of if you're trying to do a race thing. There's only a few have done it. Like Louis, and he's already gone for other thing. Yeah. Bill Burr, and there's a lot of people that don't like Bill Burr because of it. I fucking love Bill Burr. But I like him too because I'm basically a white American myself. So, right. And he does it to me tactfully that I think I can enjoy it. But I can understand why a lot of on the other side are not into Bill Burr whatsoever. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I was like, because I've been wanting to do stand-up comedy, and the thing nowadays is that it's so tough because all comedians now are under so much scrutiny, where it's they're under the biggest microscope. Any little thing you can say or do is just fucking bing, out. Like SNL. The two head writers are Colin Jost and Michael Che, a white and a black man. They're like BFFs. They're the head writers of SNL. They co-host the Weekend Update sketches where they make fun of the news and topical stuff. So typically at the end of every year, these past few years where Colin Jost and Michael Che have been doing it, on the season finale they go, throughout the year we write a lot of jokes over a lot of stories. Some are deemed too inappropriate or like not, good enough or not, are too racy for TV. But here's the stories from 2018 and 2017 that we're going to tell anyway. So then they go into it and they tell really racy things. And because like both of them together, they got that.
But they preempted it too.
Yeah,
it kind of helps.
And so
brace yourself.
They say the punchline, and then they're all like, "Yeah, that's something you don't want to say on TV," right. And then like making jokes at it. But it's just comedy.
It's hard to do. That's very clever, and they executed it. And it all goes with the timing and blah blah blah, and how they. It's a really hard formula that almost like it can make you or break you.
Yeah. It can make you or break you. Because if you tell a great joke at the wrong moment,
right,
your career's over, bro. Right. Say sayonara. Say goodbye to your Netflix deal. Say goodbye to fucking...
Also, if you jerk off in front of girls. That's another thing, apparently.
Don't joke about jerking off.
Which I've completely stopped now that Louis got in trouble. I just don't do it anymore.
You don't jerk off? I fucking kill myself.
In front of girls.
Oh, in front of girls.
So at work, I was just whipping it out all the time. I was going to the bathrooms and, hey, look at this. I was on planes taking pisses. Hey, actually, I need a break.
All right. Alrighty, and we're back from Le Smoke Break.
And we're back. We even took a road trip.
Yeah, we took a road trip. We went to the gas station and everything. Hold on here. I'm seeing a very intriguing video now. Is she?
Yes.
Just in public like that?
I guess so.
Hey, move your leg, lady. Come on. Hey, come on, lady. Eat it. Show me a video of a chick shaving her cooch, or above her cooch. What do they call it? The fupa, I think, right there.
The fupa, yeah.
Yeah, man. Mm.
Oh my god.
Just rest that on your face.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of gross things, there was a white chick.
Who wasn't actually very gross, but
yeah. So she took her graduation photos, I believe, from Kent State University or Kent University, whatever you call it, up in Ohio. She took her graduation photos with was it an AR-15?
Something like that.
So yeah, she had a semi-automatic rifle with her in her guns, in her photos, and she's all like, "Come and take it!" Like, I'm protesting ban on guns on campus.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, what the fuck? And then so everybody's in outrage. Like, so everybody takes to Twitter and Facebook. Like, imagine if this was a black student. Like, we'd be hearing about another death and everything like that. I feel threatened for my life and da 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 da. So, and everybody's bashing this chick, like, man, check your white privilege, this and that, which is true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nobody would have said anything. And so then she goes out on the news and she goes, I've got death threats, like everything.
The blatant racism.
Yeah, I'm so hurt because this isn't white privilege and this and that.
AR-10.
And I'm just like, fuck you, AR-10, that's the gun that she had. I'm like, fuck you, lady. You know how many people died? Somebody died over a bag of Skittles in an Arizona
And
tea.
it was the same school that it had happened 5 months before or something.
Really? With a black student?
No, with the white student. It was... Okay, I'm watching it now.
Okay, he's watching the article.
So, yeah, she's saying about the white privilege. She went on campus with AR-10. She's upset that everyone was talking about how white she was. Which, that is the whitest fucking thing you can do at this point in our...
society.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm reading right now as I'm talking. It was, Ohio, Kent State... Protests on students she's protesting the ban on students. Oh my god!
So white, so fucking
I mean,
white.
even the aspect of the the carry law or whatever. That type of fucking gun you bring on, like, that's not even like a protection gun you would carry on you. Like,
that's
you know
fucking.
what I mean?
That's
like,
military grade.
Okay,
man.
the same state. Here we go. Students freaked out. She held a silent protest demanding that they had done the protest. Ohio is the same state where 12-year-old Tamir Rice was killed by police while holding a toy gun. Right, so that's what it was. A black kid was holding a toy gun, like in his at Walmart. That's what it was. Remember, he had a toy gun at Walmart. Someone fucking called the cops on him, which is now a new thing, a new meme right now. Is that anytime black people are living their lives, white people are there to call the cops, like just in any aspect. And this was part of it. Early one where the cops came. He had no fucking idea why the cop, because he's just at Walmart playing with a toy gun and they shoot and kill him.
Yup.
Yeah. And so this is the same city, I guess, where she goes and brings the gun on campus. And she's mad about the racism she claims to be experiencing.
That she's getting because she's all...
Meanwhile, the black equivalent of her gets shot for a toy gun at Walmart. Not even on a school.
For a toy gun, for something this big. Like, and she's carrying something
with
that
an
takes up her
orange tip.
whole body.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my god. Like, no, that shit... Oh, that's what pisses me off.
That's
man.
insane. I can't even believe
Oh my god. And this sounds terrible. I don't care. Fuck it. I'm not the moral of the show. Man, I wish a cop would have seen her. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
Fucking gunned her down.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
That would have been a statement for sure.
God bless. Because I guarantee you, if it was a black student carrying that gun...
I mean, there's literal evidence
God.
that it doesn't even have to be a gun for the black student to get killed by police.
It could be a fucking bag of Skittles and an Arizona tea.
So, scrolling to find it, now I'm coming across this one you posted.
Which one did I post?
Okay, I watched this video out somewhere, and I'm waiting for the punchline, and it never really comes, and I realize this is just like a gay porn beginning.
Oh, yeah. On the page, yeah.
Because they don't even look like what I would think gay porn stars would look like. Like, it looks like, I thought it was like a, what is that show on the Trailer Park Boys or something? It looks, it looks like, I'm waiting for this joke to happen where they're talking about peeing in public, not ashamed of your dick. And then the end of it goes, I know a way, what is it? I know a way.
My dad said the best way to do something is to suck another man's dick. Or
Something like that. Somebody use your mouth. Let me show you. And goes, okay. And then it ends. I was like, I was so confused. It took me totally 10 seconds to
I forgot what I saw.
Oh shit! Like, this is just a gay porno.
I forgot what I saw it on, but I was cracking up hysterically, and I was like, I am putting this on the page because if I post it on my actual page,
that might raise the seed of doubt.
Yeah.
Page. Yeah.
It's like, is Leslie a cover? Is that your beard?
Is that a beard? Yeah.
Fucking. Yeah, but I posted the intro to a gay porn.
That was funny.
Oh,
it was
my
funny.
God.
I was so confused. I did not get that for like. I mean,
Well, a lot of stuff does go over your head, Teach. I'm sorry.
apparently, apparently, it
Fucking
does.
vagina. You don't get vagina, you know.
I still think that was not my fault.
No, yeah, dude. The
That
way
was-
he. Because I'm built to still think like a juvenile. So, like, when I read that, I was like, childish.
That was referencing the previous was it the previous episode?
Yeah.
My joke of the week.
23.
Okay, sorry. I'm coming up from a cold actually. And it probably has to do with me smoking cigarettes too.
Yeah, he
But,
just got done smoking 5 cigarettes. No, I'm just kidding. At a time.
I have been coughing nonstop, and there we go again. I have had a cough since I was like 17 years old. Like, it just has never gone away. And this current one right now is one of those coughs where I can feel it like right here in like the tip of my lungs, where I feel like just one more cough is just gonna, you know, it's gonna get whatever there is loose and be done with it, and it never fucking comes up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And can feel it. So it's just the most annoying fucking thing. And I did have a cold. I don't know what I had actually. I had. I thought it was a hangover, which tends to be the case. I'm usually hungover. My friend, he's been going on this weight loss journey. He's a big guy too. He's lost like 35 pounds. He's been doing it for like a year. He's really into it. And he was a really good, he still is a good friend of mine. We just have kind of lost touch in the sense of meeting up, whatever, but still a good friend of mine. But he messaged me, you know, we need to hang out soon, blah, blah. He said, you should come to the gym. He was like, yeah, dude, I probably should. You know, the wedding's coming up, blah, blah. I'm like, when do you work out? Because he's like, he has that black card or whatever at Planet Fitness where you can bring a buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I usually go in anywhere between 4 and 8 a.m. And I'm like, okay, I'm usually hungover till at least noon most days. So that's not going to work for me. Like, I'm usually going to sleep at least midnight, 2 o'clock every morning, you know, every night. So 4 to 8 a.m. is just out of the question.
Fuck
Like,
that, man. It's like my Saturday is about to be ruined. I'm about to go to the gym in the morning. A buddy of mine asked me, like, hey, you want to hit up the gym? I know you're trying to lose weight and shit. And I'm all, yeah, sure. When and where? He goes, 7 a.m. Planet Fitness on Fredericksburg. And I'm like, fuck you, man.
I already
Like,
just know I can't do the morning gym thing.
I was like, I thought you were my friend. And
All
it's
right,
like-
I thought we were buds. The last time there was a time where I was real into trying to work out and this and that. Like, I was like, I'm gonna, you know how people get into those phases.
Me
You know-
a couple weeks ago, I was all like,
Oh, were you?
I bought pre-workout, I bought a shaker, I bought a gym bag, only used it twice.
It makes you feel better, right? Until you just put it in your closet and say, fuck it.
Yeah, it's under my bed.
The last time I went to the gym, I think it was like at 6 a.m. I think I had like an 8 o'clock shift. I brought my bag, you know, I went at 6. I was going to work out till like 7, take a shower, bring all this stuff, get dressed for work, and be at work at 8. I legit got there at 6, got on like whatever machine I was going to work on, and went, nope. Just fucking went back home and slept for like 45 minutes and then went to work. Like, I am just not, because I will legit, everyone says, you just got to get there. Just gotta get there. Once you're there, you're there. It all, and then
No.
I'm like, no, I will leave. I
Yeah.
will legit just go back fucking home.
I've gone to a gym, sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes, and went home. And I was just like, nah, fuck this. I don't care if I wasted gas in this economy. Fuck it. That was in the past though. That was because I used to work out a lot. Like before Leslie and I met, like, and it sounds funny. So like, because I broke my back in high school. Like I've broken my back. I lost a
You
lot
and
of
your
weight.
brother with your bags.
I broke mine first. So
You did before it was cool.
yeah. So I'll open my drink. Yeah. So
He said, ooh.
I had a little bit of beer on me, so I drank it. So I broke my back. I was in a back brace, which made me lose a lot of weight. I was kind of chunky, not super chunky, but I had some beef on me. So being in a back brace and not eating, feeling full a lot faster, I lost a lot of weight. I went to skin and bone,
Working out or getting sick?
breaking my back.
Okay.
So then after I got out of the back brace, I was just a skinny shit for most of high school. And then, you know, I started working out here and there, but never anything seriously, not protein shakes or nothing. So I was like maybe 90 pounds, 85, 90 pounds when I
Jesus.
graduated. I was skinny.
Holy shit.
So then going through college, everything, gaining weight from eating trashy, you know, just, you
90
know.
pounds. Fuck, dude.
I lost a lot of weight when I broke my back.
Yeah.
So then dated a girl. The girl I dated before Leslie. She ended up cheating on me the whole time. broke my heart.
You filled that hole with cheeseburgers.
No, I filled that hole with the gym.
Ah.
So I was like, oh, fuck her. I'm going to show her. I'm going to get real big buff and sexy and everything. So I gained a lot of weight. Like, I gained.
Muscle weight.
Yeah. So I started putting on the pounds, and I was, eating clean. I was eating protein, like straight protein. I was buying myself beef, cooking my own dinners. I was meal prepping. I was drinking protein shakes. I was drinking water, no soda, da-da-da. Started gaining, a lot of weight. I had definition to me. I was looking good. Then I met Leslie, and all that went downhill. Because I started getting lazy, everything like that. And I really wish I could get
pizza dates.
Exactly. Yeah. So and then it all, because then we had gym dates where we would go work out together, and everything was still okay. But then when we moved in together, that's when it both went downhill. Oh my God. It's just bad. Yeah. And so now I'm at a healthy 210 pounds. So I'm like, okay, I'm at an ideal weight. That's always what I've wanted to be is, in the higher range, like in the 200s. Uh-huh. But now I'm kind of like, okay, now I feel like I have more meat on my bones, like actual meat, like flab.
So, because you felt like Captain America before the serum at the time.
Exactly.
So to be 200 is...
And it's so much harder to build straight muscle off of nothing, but it's a lot easier to turn fat into muscle. So I'm like, I really want to get back into it. I talk myself into it. I go for a couple days, and then boom, I'm right out of it. Yeah. And so, and Leslie, because, Leslie wants to lose weight too. And so I'm like, you know what, yeah, because we both talk into it, then we do it a couple times.
Oh, it's real fun to talk about.
Yeah, but then when you finally do it, but Leslie's getting into it again. I realized, I was like, man, I fucked up. Like, I spent almost $80 on a bunch of shit, and I was like, I need to get into it. So I'm going to try to focus myself, and limit.
Where do you go to the gym?
I don't like Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is just too commercialized here in San Antonio, and it's always crowded. Uh-huh. So unfortunately, I technically don't have a gym membership anywhere. Gold's is too expensive. LA Fitness is too expensive. And, I don't want to pay that much money to go a couple times. Right. My work has a gym that's open 24 hours. I've gone there a few times, which is pretty cool, but I mean, it's just a company gym. It's not fancy. Yeah. So I'm going to work out with Leslie at Planet Fitness, but I just don't like Planet Fitness. It's always super crowded, and I don't know. And then there's not a lot to do. There's no free weights. Yeah. Because they're in this whole no judgment zone, and it's like...
What's the lunk? Right?
The lunk alarm. If you drop your weights, or... Yeah. Because that's what I like. And honestly, I like working out with guys as opposed to girls. Because with Leslie, when we work out, Leslie goes hard, but she does a lot of cardio. Uh-huh. She does, she's focusing on losing weight. I'm focusing on getting strength and bulking up. Exactly. So my workouts are going to be a little bit different than what she's trying to do. Right. So I don't have fun working out with her because we're in separate parts of the gym.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't need to go together.
It's like I'm focusing on myself, and it's like... And then I'm getting bored because I don't have anyone, pushing me. I don't have anyone, there you go, come on, man. Another rep, you little bitch. Another rep, you little bitch. Because I was in athletics my 8th grade, and then, in the gym working out throughout high school, I'm used to that guy. Come on, fuck yeah. And when I was gaining muscle weight, when I was actually working out, I was working out with my best friend, Michael, and he would be like, come on, one more set, push it. Don't fucking, I would get up and no, get back on that fucking bench, you're going to do it. But we're at Planet Fitness, so he's like, get back on that fucking bench. You're going to do it, man. Because he can't be loud or else they ring that stupid alarm. Right. And then because eventually, not that we separated or nothing, but, we stopped seeing each other as much as we could because we started working and whatnot. And again, another my best friend, Justin, when we were in training at Qualphone to get our license, and then when we were in training for 21st Century, we were going to the gym almost every single day, meeting up on weekends. And the gym he was working out at, you can be like, oh, they had the bench press, they had free weights, awesome. And, and he would be like, come on, man, come on, you got this. Just working out with guys is a different dynamic, as opposed to working out by yourself and working out with a woman. Mm-hmm. Have you worked out with Mrs. Teach before? Mm-hmm. And has it been good workouts, you feel?
I have never been one to work out, really. I like working out with Mrs. Teach because there's no aspect of competition, which I don't like. So, I don't like working out with other guys because it tends to be a competition. And I just, it totally turns me off.
Trying to, bench more than you or, lift more than you and
There's
stuff?
always, a little on the end of it where it's oh, good rep. Now let me show you how it's done, right?
Mhm.
Or like, this is what you should be at. And I just don't like that. It's
Right.
Like, I've never liked that aspect of it. My dad is very much like that when we were, and he's like he was a bodybuilder. He like still blah, 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 works out real hard and this and stuff. And his like shoulders and knees are for shit because he's been working out too hard for his whole life, you know? So I didn't like that as a kid either because he would always like push me, and which you should do, but it was always like this aspect of what this is nothing, what is this, you know? And I get that some people that works for, but I'm like a powder puff.
Well, you see, with
so
me,
it kind of like I'm like, no, fuck, I don't want to do this. Like,
right. So with me, it was never the competition thing. I just like that tough love type thing. Like, come on, like that's it. That's all you're gonna do. You can do one more. You got one more set in
I
you.
hate that.
Not so much like the like, oh, I'm gonna outlift you. I can do this. You can't.
Yeah.
Because that stuff would be very discouraging. I'd be like,
Yeah.
nah, fuck you. Like, yeah, I'm not at that level yet. Like, I'm at where I'm at.
Right.
But I like that, like pushing you, like to come on. Like, don't give up. Keep going.
Well,
keep
I've
going.
always had, because I've always been really big, right? So I've always been a bigger guy. And so even I've only worked out with people my age a handful of times, not a lot. But even then, it's kind of like, they always kind of freak out. I can tell them freak out because they think I am stronger than I am. I have like retard rage. Like if I get really, like when I'm really getting shit done,
Oh my
I can do shit, right? That's not very PC. But you know, so like people will freak out. Like if I can pick up things that need to be done, like giant TVs. Like I can pick shit up and like move it. When things need to, like if there's this aspect that needs to get done, that comes up. Yard work, we're having to like saw through fucking like giant fucking branches where I'm like, right? And they're like, holy shit, like they did not expect that, right? But that's just because there's like an end goal there, and I just get it done. Working out, there's no end. The end goal takes months and this and that. Right?
It takes hard work.
And the aspect of just lifting for whatever, I don't know, things get lost, and I don't really have that strength anymore because I'm just kind of like, fuck. And some people I can tell because they think I look like I'm big, so they think I can bench or I can, whatever, deadlift or curl, all this, and they're kind of like, that's it? And that always is discouraging for me because it's like, yeah, I guess I should be able to lift more, but I just can't. That's a thing on my thing too. But so for Mrs. Teach, it's nice because there is no competition, and I've been around weights where I know how they work and this and that,
right,
and how to work out, with certain muscle groups and this and that. So that's kind of nice because I'm kind of the trainer at that point, even though I don't know anything, but she really doesn't know anything.
Right. Isn't that always a cool feeling where you're like, oh, I know how to do this?
Right. Exactly. My thing, so me and my skinniest and looking the best, and I was 210 pounds. When I was, I guess, 18. When I met Mrs. Teach at 17, I was probably about 200 pounds. And I looked really thin, though. I think I've showed you pictures.
I've seen pictures of you, yeah.
Where I was like, I've always been big, though, but I didn't really have a belly or
husky.
anything like that. Yeah, but even then, I wasn't really husky. Then I was actually looking really thin. And it was only because I was taking a lot of like Vyvanse and Adderall and shit. Like I just wasn't eating at all and just drinking and just kind of going out and blah blah blah. And so I just wasn't eating. So I was really thin. And then once I got over that phase, I started drinking a lot. And with the drinking came the eating, late night eating. Alcohol just fucking puffs you up, too.
I think that's another thing, too, is like when I turned 21, Angry Orchards fucking every night, dude. And that's
all
another
sugar
thing
and empty calories. So this is like the lowest calorie drink that I drink. And it still, puffs me up like a motherfucker. Like, I'm sure if I would just stop drinking, I could probably slim down like 50 pounds.
I bet.
But I like to drink. So.
Dude, drinking soothes the soul.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh my god. Like, it's the best. Like, man, like, if I have money and someone goes, like, oh, you want to go drinking? Yeah, I could get a couple rounds.
Did you post last week or something about you wanted to get drunk?
I was like, oh, I want to get drunk, but I'm broke.
Danny didn't want to shout out, right?
What's up?
Didn't Danny want to shout out?
Oh, she goes, I'll sponsor your addiction if you give me a shout out. Yeah, so.
All right, Danny, here's a shout out for next time David wants to get
Thanks for sponsoring my alcoholism.
So now the next part's on you.
Right, it's like, I love Angry Orchards. I'll take Smirnoffs. Fireball.
You can send funds through the Facebook account on Messenger.
We'll put one of our checking accounts there so that way you can just direct into it. So, Oh
That's
man, that's fucking funny. Unfortunately, we don't have a Jerks of the Week.
I'm still trying. I'm like, God, I really don't. It was a pretty decent show week.
That's what I'm saying. You know, just other than general nuances with customers and stuff. You know, but
Mine wasn't even. I mean, I got sick last week, but I've been loving my schedule because I usually have. I took 18 hours last semester, which is 6 classes, and I was working 29 hours because I can only work part time at my job because they don't want to give me insurance. But working that, I mean, my day was like 7 in the morning to like 8 at night. You know, with going to work, going to school, back to work, back to school, and then like director stuff.
right.
But right now, since school's out, my schedule is like 10 to 4 every day, and it's just fucking awesome. Like, and I've just been in a really good mood because I'm like, wake up at 8 and kind of hang out, and then go to work at 10. Before I know it, it's already 4 o'clock. Because I'll go at 10. Before you know it, it's already noon or 1, and I'm like, lunch break. and I'll watch TV on my lunch break, and and then it's 4 o'clock.
Right.
And then I have like all this time in the evening to probably should go to the gym and like do productive stuff, but I don't. So I've just been enjoying life for the past week or
Enjoying
so.
life. Yeah, it's for me just been working and just dealing with mostly bills, man. Fucking
Yeah.
bills are a killer. You know, just trying to get everything budgeted. I'm getting a new tattoo in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get my whole leg sleeved up
Oh shit.
from ankle to my balls, like getting
Ankle to taint.
ankle to taint. There you go. Hashtag ankle to taint. So yeah, so I'm gonna get like a Japanese Asian type theme.
Oh, that's where I went.
So
too.
I'm gonna get waves, like you know those Asian type waves
Yeah, Mount
tattoos.
Fuji.
God, well, I wouldn't say that.
I know what you're talking about. With the mountain in the back, with the.
No, I'm not gonna get a mountain in the back. I'm just gonna get waves, like ocean waves.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So out of that, I'm gonna have waves. Maybe go from like my ankle up to like mid shin.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm gonna have a dragon coming out of the waves, like kind of like a sea monster type thing. And then like up here, I'm gonna stand up here. I want to model my thighs.
I can see David's balls.
Yeah, you can. So like up here and whatnot, I want to get like the sun, maybe a mountain like right here.
Are you talking about like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those types of things, right? Bring around my ankles.
That's Mount Fuji.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just
Well, that's the picture. That's the
Right.
only reason why I say that.
And then around here, maybe get like a samurai type thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll have the dragon maybe coming off from like right here to like right here.
How long is it gonna take?
I don't know, but so on June 8th, 8:30 p.m., Legion Inc., Mr. Chris. Shout out Mr. Chris, by the way. If you guys are looking to get a tattoo, hit up Mr. Chris.
Has he done some of your previous
He
work?
did. He did my rose. He
Uh-huh.
did my rose mini sleeve thing, whatever you want to call it, on my forearm. Very fairly priced. He's willing to work with you.
Can
as
I
long-
ask you how much that was?
This was $120. He charged me
wow.
$120.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. While he gave me a good deal because
This was 300.
that was $300.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
That still was very
he
nice.
told
though.
me because of all
all the lines,
Yeah.
all the detail.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I got a good deal on this one is because one of Leslie's best friend is this girl, and
She's fucking him.
well, it's her fiance. So
Oh fuck! That was a joke. I
It's
didn't,
like-
okay, so
yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah, so it's her fiance, Mr. Chris. He works at Legion Inc. He's on Instagram, Mr. Chris, Facebook, Mr. Chris. He's one of the top-rated San Antonio tattoo artists. He's always heavily booked. I booked this appointment maybe a month ago. You really have to book way out in advance. You have to tell him what you want.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. So, and he's very fair in price.
What's
He's,
his establishment called? Everybody works.
the place where he works at is called Legion Inc.
Legion.
Legion. Legion. Legion Inc.
Like we are Legion from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's very, very great. Like I cannot stress that enough. You can look at his Instagram. He is always posting his artwork, and it just looks fantastic. You can do
I
any
need to go
style.
add him too. Is he on Facebook too?
He's on Facebook, yeah, Mr. Chris Romo, and he pretty much accepts everybody. And then like he tells them, like he has his phone number, his like ways you can message him, and as long as you're not a dick to him, he's not a dick to you. Like if you try to get really too bossy with the tattoo, because he knows what he's doing. That's all I can say. But yeah, so I have my appointment with him. Yeah, the first one.
That
first
says a notorious thing.
It may be old, but
Oh, okay.
I was like,
With the
yeah.
baby though, that's
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's his son, Oliver.
They said I love her.
But yeah, so what I'm going to go in is I'm going to go in with a wad of cash. I'm going to go in with
an envelope.
Yeah, like
The Sopranos.
Here you go. So I'm going to go in and be like, hey, look, this is how much I have right now. Like I want to get progress started. Like whatever you're willing to work with, even if it's just like a dot
outline or something.
Okay, I was like, yeah. I was like, whatever I can get with this much, like that's fine. Whatever you feel is comfortable. I'm not the artist. I want the tattoo. Whatever you feel this is acceptable for, start that, and then I'll book another appointment. So far in advance.
That's kind of tricky. I feel like not on him or anything, but I feel like you should. Have you discussed this? All of what you want?
Not the pricing. You said we'll talk about it when I have my appointment.
Because you should get an ultimate amount to work.
I trust this guy.
Okay.
I trust this guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, he did such a good deal with my other tattoo. I trust him to give me a good deal on the leg tattoo. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm going to tell him, because I know some tattoo artists charge per hour. Mm-hmm. Some, based upon what you're getting. Yeah. So that's what I want to say. I was like, hey, whatever this works with, because this is what I have right now, because that's a good thing too. He works with your budget. If you're upfront with him and tell him everything, he'll be like, okay, he'll keep that in mind and work with you. And if it is going to do sessions, he'll do sessions with you. But like I said, you just have to be very upfront and before, not last minute. Because when you converse with your tattoo artist, that's something that's really important too. If you can build a really good rapport with your tattoo artist, the better deals they'll give you, the more helpful they are, and everything like that. So that's what I'm saying. I was like, hey, look, I really want to start this progress. Whatever you feel is comfortable for this, even if it's just one single wave, that's fine by me because you have good quality work.
Yeah.
You were very nice to me.
Come back.
And I was like, and this is my tattoo artist. All the other tattoos I have are not by the same person. They've all been by different people at different shops. So this is the first time that I'm going to be a repeat customer to a tattoo artist. And I trust him. I've already been promoting him out there. If you have me added as an actual friend on Facebook, I shared a little mini documentary interview about him on Facebook a few days ago. And brownie points, he was all like, hey, really thank you for the shout out and everything. Mm-hmm. I wasn't trying to get brownie points. I didn't even know he would notice because I shared it off of his fiance's Facebook page. I'm friends with her. And so it was really cool. So, he's a really good guy, really down to earth, really funny, very great. So if you're interested in getting a new tattoo or just want to check out his artwork just to be a fan, Mr. Chris Romo, and he's awesome.
So I've given up on the fact that I'm not gonna have a beach body ever, right? That's done. So my new goal, and Mrs. Teach, I haven't really shared with her because I know she hates this, but my real goal is to get a full Yakuza type style.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
But stop it right here, just so I could wear if I want to wear shirts like this to work at school.
It's like a body sleeve type thing.
But keeping this all kind of bare too, so that it doesn't pop up or nothing. So
right.
That you can't, and nothing past my elbows or anything either. So this is what I've always been wanting to get on my back. It's called an emaciated Buddha.
Okay.
So the story goes, the Buddha, before he got enlightenment, because he was trying to starve himself, because back in the day in India, the way you did spiritualism was you didn't eat. It was called now I can't think of the word, but they were aesthetics. I think they're called aesthetics, something like that. Anyways, the way they felt that you got enlightened was through torture. You tortured your body, and you got so used to the torture that you transcended blah 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 blah. The Buddha came along, he did it. But then he realized at this point, this is emaciated. It means he was almost dead because he wasn't eating.
Right.
He realized that wasn't the way to do it. It's called the middle path. He ate a bowl of rice with this little girl riding, and that's when he was enlightened. But that image of the emaciated Buddha is still part of the culture, part of the history, and I just think it looks badass,
right.
Zombie Buddha. So I always wanted that, big on my back, right? And then all the Japanese looking, the Yakuza, the fish. So these are called the four dignities of Buddhism, where it's a tiger, lion. It's a snow tiger, which is a mythical tiger, lion. I'm sorry. That's why they look all weird. Their faces always look like pugs.
It's a little chubby looking thing.
Yeah. The tiger, the dragon. I already have the dragon, and then the Garuda is a half eagle, half man.
This is a peacock.
No, they have peacocks too, but that's a Garuda.
Okay.
But those are the four dignities of Buddhism, and I've always wanted to do the four too. So having those somewhere as like a story piece, you know, like one going like the tiger down this way with all the like, or like the shell, you know, whatever.
Right.
Just because you can be fat as shit, and if you have like badass artwork though, you can just walk around, you still look fucking cool.
Right? It's like, damn, look at that guy.
You don't even notice how fat you are. Like, yeah.
It's just the ink. It's just the ink.
Yeah, right. It puffs you up.
Stupid.
But God, the thing is the pricing. I remember my dad. He got like a big gothic cross on his back, you know, and he's a big guy too. I've shown you my dad, right?
Yeah.
He's 6'5", you know, I'm 6'2". My dad's taller than me and built like a truck. And so he got like big gothic cross on his back, so it's a lot of detail in the cross, and then his name is our last name, in like Old English. He's so Italian. And shit, I think that was like $1,500.
Really?
And because it took, I mean, he had to go back and back and back. You know, it took like, I don't know, 5 sessions or something to get it all. You know, they did the outline and then like the detail on the cross and then the shading of the cross. Like each day was that, and like the outline of the letters and then the shading of the letters, blah, blah, blah. So $1,500 for that. And now I even look at it now, I'm like, it doesn't even look that intricate anymore. I remember at the time I was like, but now it kind of, I don't know. So I'm thinking a whole body thing. I mean, that's kind of like a life's pursuit at that point. You know, once you start, you really got to finish.
Dude, like point. So my first tattoo was this. It's on my knee, and it's a
I
smiley
never
face.
saw that.
This was my first tattoo. My buddy Steven did this in his bedroom.
Okay.
Super unhygienic.
Uh-huh.
He was like, dude, get a tattoo, and this was a stick and poke tattoo.
Oh, God.
So it didn't hurt, but because I mean it's so small. And I got it when I was sitting down, so like it looks decent sized right here. But then when you stand up,
oh, it totally goes away.
yeah, it's like it's so invisible.
I've never noticed that before.
So this was my first tattoo ever. So and I got it when I was 18 after my first hookah bar.
All prison style.
Yeah. So I totally forgot I even had it. I didn't even take care of it. I didn't wash it. I mean, I was in the shower. You know, like the soap, you know, they kind of like start the soap on your legs and you're like, ah, fuck it, the run off, we'll get it. Like, fuck it. So, like, and I remember I totally forgot I had it until one day I was sitting on the couch in gym shorts and my mom comes up to me. She licks her thumb and she starts, you know, hitting the tattoo with her thumb. And she goes, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Are you drawing on yourself with Sharpie? And I was like,
Yes.
No.
Oh, you told her?
And she goes, what the fuck is that? And I was like, it's a tattoo. A tattoo? What the fuck? Who did that to you? Who did that to my baby? And I was like, Steven, what the fuck? And my dad's all like, oh, I saw that shit like a week ago. And I was like, you did? He goes, yeah, it looks fucking gay. And I'm like, So that was my first tattoo. So I don't recognize that one. I say this is my first real tattoo.
I would agree.
Yeah. So I have a Goku. I have the Goku symbol on me, and then I have under that Master Roshi. So when Leslie and I first started dating, because Leslie was already tatted when I met her, and all I had was my smiley face. Which my smiley face was a good icebreaker. It was like, oh, I like tatted boys. I was like, I like tatted boys, and I showed them that. Ha ha ha! Who are you? And I'm like, oh, David. You know, like
I would have been embarrassed of that.
like I said, it was good because it was silly and a good icebreaker.
Let me see your. Okay, I looked
This
up
one-
Goku in Japanese, and yeah.
It stands for wisdom, and then this one means turtle.
Well, because remember I do Chinese calligraphy, and so this is what comes up. So that's kanji in Japanese, which has different. It sounds different than in Chinese,
Right.
but they have the same. So you're saying it says wisdom.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead with the story.
And then under that, and then this is for Master Roshi, it means turtle or kami turtle or something like that.
Kami?
Kame.
Oh,
like
okay.
master.
I think I meant like a contest. Like, why does that mean kami?
Fucking the Red Scare.
Yeah.
So Leslie and I went to a Friday the 13th, you know, $20 tattoo thing, and the place they had it at was this place on Marbach, but it's closed down. It's another tattoo shop now, but they don't do it. And it was you can get anything you want, any design, just no bigger than the palm of your hand. So I was like, oh, I love Dragon Ball Z. So I got that 1 month, and then the next month I got this, and then I still want to complete right here to
Was
get
it the same artist?
No, this was one guy. It was a white guy and then a Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit. So, so whatchamacallit, I wanted to get, like, this whole forearm, like, all Dragon Ball Z, but then the progress kind of stopped. Because then I got this one. I got, like, a little Grim Reaper flame thing going on. And then on my left arm, I was like, oh, I want to get flash tattoos. Like, small little off-the-wall things, like, I could just pick up anywhere. And so I've made a lot of progress on my arm here. And it's almost sleeved up, pretty much.
So the other thing is, like, for the sleeve, it needs to be all, like, what you have to do is stuff in between that, right?
Yeah, so, like, I can get bigger pieces to take up the big chunks of my arms.
Yeah.
And, like, in the small spaces, I can get small little things, or I can get, like, little stars.
See, so I know you got that on a Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, it looks like Jägermeister to me.
It is. It's the Jägermeister deer.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know it. I thought it was just a deer with the number 13 in it. Because the cool thing about the Friday the 13th, I can play it off as it's the year that I graduated. Because I did graduate 2013.
There you go.
So it kind of plays off, but then I'm just like... So I thought it was just a deer until someone was like, oh, why'd you get Jaeger tatted on you? And I was like, fuck, it is the Jägermeister deer. I didn't put 2 and 2 together at the shop. I was like, fucking A. So, yeah, I've never had a sip of Jägermeister ever in my whole life.
It's fucking gross.
So, I imagine. So I have the Jägermeister deer tattooed on my wrist, but it's covered up by my watch. So, you'll probably never even see it. So, but yeah, so that's...
I've always wanted the Om symbol, which I know is woo-woo, but I've always wanted it on, like, the inside of my finger here or something, or the inside of this finger. You don't really use this mudra in my lineage, but I just thought that was kind of neat. If you were, if you did the mudra, you would see the Om symbol there. Yeah. But I've called tattoo places, and so like Friday the 13th, they only do the ones that they want to do.
Yeah, some shops have their pre-designed stuff.
They won't do, and I'm like, it's even smaller than that, so why not? But they won't. And then other tattoos won't even do it just because they don't do finger tattoos. Because
because it rubs off a lot.
The integrity of the tattoo goes, and
a lot of tattoo artists.
And then they want $60 for it, so it's like, yeah, that fucking sucks. So I guess it's good because it's kept me away from doing that. So
because the thing is, a lot of tattoo artists don't do it because their work rubs off. Mm-hmm. But they'll like, hey, if you're willing to fucking pay for it, if you're willing to waste your money on a tattoo that's
if it's
not
on your hands, they'll touch it up a lot of times, won't they? I mean, within a certain amount of time. Right, it's not as they
like the artist?
Yeah.
Just depending on the type of artist that you go to. Some of them will like, hey, like I'll touch on my work for free, but like you have to actually let it heal. I have to actually tell it's from my artwork, not from your shitty aftercare.
Right.
Some people will be like, no, you get what you get, you don't throw a fit.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucked. You sign a waiver, this and that. Like, but yeah, because I remember Leslie and I were considering getting puzzle piece tattoos, like where like we put it together and to connect. And the guy was like, I mean, I wouldn't advise getting that. He's like, because that's like a big waste of money. And he flat out told me, he goes, but if you're willing to shell out money for a tattoo that's going to fade away real easily, he goes, I'll do it.
It's your choice.
And then he said it would be $60 each for like a little puzzle piece on the finger.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, yeah, never mind. I still want to get a pentagram on my finger. Like the circle with the pentagram in it. Because I have it right here on my chest. But then I'm just like, damn, like I shouldn't have gotten it on my chest because that really eliminates from doing a big chest piece.
Right.
And like I can't, because I really like color. Like I love my tattoos with color in them because I think color really fits my skin well. And so like the only thing I can really get up here is going to be all black.
Yeah.
It really eliminates, because I could get it covered up, but it has to be all black.
See, I don't like color.
Really? You just like straight up black?
Not even black. I like the tattooing. Like, I don't like the tribal. You know how there's tribal black, and then there's tattoo that's like the green. Like, even when you first get it fresh, it looks green. You know what I'm talking about?
No, if I got the black, it looks black.
This is not black.
The ink looked black in the bottle they put in.
That's black.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. There's regular tattooing.
No, there's different green shading that you could use too.
Well, there's a traditional one that's green. That's usually, this is like the old school. It probably comes from black, but it always looks that green. There's tribal black, like The Rock's tattoo, or like Batista's thing, where it's like.
I like how you put it at the belly button.
Yeah, where it's like jet black because it's tribal tattoo, so it's different though. You can tell that difference though, right? Like a fresh, like this. When I got this, it was green. You can't see that. See this tinge of green? How it looks?
It just looks black to me.
Okay, well, and the reason why I realized this was because the guy asked me for this one, because it wasn't, when I brought it in, it was jet black, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Do you want it solid black? Because first of all, that ups the price." And I was like, "I don't really like the black because I just wanted like the regular tattoo green." So he just did green and a little bit of shading in it. There's a difference.
Yeah, like, because every time I've gotten a tattoo where they use black, I've seen them pull out a black bottle of ink and put it, like, just straight up black.
And real, like, inks, like a green ink always looks black.
Because I've seen, the only time I've seen a green bottle is when the guy did the horns on this.
Well, that looks green. Though.
And then when this, and then with this tattoo. But everything else, I've just seen, based on what I've seen, the artists pull out when they put the little plastic cup things with the ink. It's just a black bottle with an orange label on it.
I don't know, maybe it just fades that way. The only thing is that he asked me if I wanted tribal black or traditional ink, which always looks green. And to me, it looks just green to me. But
right.
So I've always liked this style of tattoo though. So I've never got, like, when I first got this one, it didn't look like black. To me, this doesn't look black either. None of these look black to me. They look green. Like a charcoal green, like a grayish. Anyways.
I don't know. It just looked black to me.
Anyways, that's not the point. The color, I really don't like color. And it's also the aspect of color fades, they always say a lot too. Quicker than the regular. And especially if you're out in the sun and if you do a lot of beach stuff, then, which I love the beach. So, but I've always thought maybe it's the Mexican in me that just likes like the black, just one color monotone.
And it is, and black is really nice. Because like with my flowers, I'm thinking I'm not going to get these colored because I just like the way it looks black. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know. So I mean, it just looks really nice.
I'd say I got a shading of silver gray in my rose here, but you can't really tell anymore. Can you tell? You can't see it, right? It was gray at one point.
It just looks black to me.
That one was actually really great. Because the one I brought was like a metallic silver, what I wanted. And he just did gray. But it never looked that metallic. But
He's like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
You get gray.
I was 15. I wasn't supposed to get it, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. Had a little break. So, Teach and I, just to celebrate our friendship, we're going to take a shot of Fireball right here live on the show.
Fireball's so thick.
It is, man. It's fucking syrupy as a motherfucker. And,
God, I'm not looking forward to this.
Me neither, dude, but fuck it.
I remember the last time I went to your place for like the guys' night type, the hangout we had, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have any booze at the time. I think I ran out, so I was drinking, I think all I had was like Fireball and Coke. And I was drinking it, and it tasted, pretty, I mean, it's pretty good. Fireball, Coke.
It is. It's one of my go-to drinks.
But god damn it, is it sugary. And I remember standing up at one point, going to smoke a cigarette, my face was just numb. Like, the sugar and the alcohol was just fucking with me.
Right? It's like,
this shit is like pancake syrup. Like,
pretty much, dude. And
you're going to chug it with an Angry Orchard. I'm going to use the soda.
All right, so here's
right.
more episodes of Who Cares?
Yeah, that warms you up. Not that you need that in San Antonio right now.
Fucking shit.
And they call it whiskey, but it's a schnapps.
Fuck, I'm about to die.
Yeah, that is a gut buster.
And this was my idea, fuck.
This was David's idea. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with it.
My mouth gets really watery.
You got a puke? Mine does too, actually.
Just spit. But, no, so, fuck, that threw me off. So during the World Series, so a little bit backstory. So I still say Fireball is my favorite liquor, even though you can clearly tell that I can't handle it. Fuck, I just had to burp. All right. So when I turned 21, dude, I went through so many bottles of Fireball. So I turned 21 on a Monday. Tuesday, that Monday of Tuesday, the day after my birthday, because that night I went out to dinner with my family and everything. So that Tuesday, my friend Steven, the same guy that gave me a tattoo, my first smiley face, I picked him up because that was back when we were living over by Ingram. It was before we met. And I picked him up and he goes, well, hey, for your birthday, I'm going to buy you a bottle for your party on Saturday because I was having a 21st birthday party. So I was like, okay. So, we go to the liquor store. He buys a bottle of Fireball. And then I had birthday money, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is a good time to buy bottles, too. So I bought a bottle of Fireball because I thought that was, like, the most popular drink, you know? Everybody talks about it.
It was, yeah.
And then I also bought a bottle of vodka, and I bought a bottle of Vanique.
Oh, yeah.
The glittery
the
vodka.
wine and vodka.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, that made my stomach turn right now just talking about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so we get back to my place, you know, because I got off of work at Walmart. No, I was at CSG. That's when I was in training. So I got out of CSG, picked him up over there by Petrenko and in military, and then went back to Ingram. Because this is back when Leslie was working nights. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. So we get back to my place. I start cooking up dinner, and he goes, well, have you ever had Fireball before? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, let's take a shot. I was like, I've never taken a shot before. I've drinking before. I was like, but I've never taken a shot. And he goes, well, fuck it, we're taking a shot. So he put it in the freezer for like 5-10 minutes, took it out, still not chilled. It was like, it didn't do nothing. Yeah. And we had a really old fridge, so it didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So we take a shot, and I was like, man, I'm really nervous. He goes, don't be nervous, just take it, swallow it, and then you have a wine cooler, because that's what I had. He goes, and you'll be fine. I was like, okay. So take the shot. Woo! And I didn't know what chasers were, and he goes, drink your drink, I'll make it go down. I was like, all right. Woo, boy. And he goes, man, that tasted really good. And I was like, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
He goes, you want to do another one? And I was like, okay. Like, I was 21. I was like, fuck it, okay. Like, take another one. Fuck me. So we finished half of the bottle. And he bought one of the big tall ones. Like, there's this bottle, and then there's the bigger one.
Yeah.
So
this is an eighth.
Yeah. So we finished a good chunk of whiskey, and then we're drinking regular drinks. And then we walked to the gas station.
Schnapps.
Well, and so then we're drinking, and we were pretty drunk by the time Leslie got home, and Leslie was not having it whatsoever. So then, but I still had my full bottle. He left the bottle that we started at my place. So then on the Saturday, a couple days later, on my actual birthday party, I took a shot. One of my buddies that showed up to the party early. So every time somebody showed up, hey, let's take a shot. We finished that bottle of Fireball. I cracked open my new bottle, and then that was it. Then we finished that one within an hour. Like, all the Fireball was gone. And I was like, woo, I was fucked up by then, right? I got so fucked up that night. So then my buddy, Khalif, he's in the military. He shows up with 2 gallons of Fireball. You know those really big bottles?
Mm-hmm.
He shows up
bottles
with...
I buy?
Yeah, of your vodka, but bigger than that.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know they made a bigger bottle.
Yeah, they have huge bottles of Fireball. They're fucking expensive, too.
Yeah.
So he showed up with 2 of those. We finished those within an hour and a half. I had so many shots, and then also 2 of Vanique. I had so many shots of Vanique. I had so many shots of New Amsterdam.
That was funny. That was a craze, too, wasn't it? Because it had the swirl.
You turn it upside down, and it's
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's making my stomach turn.
Yeah.
But fucking... Yeah, so Fireball was my shit, but now, so going back to, fast forward from 2015 to 2017, this past October, we're at my buddy Jesus' house, and it's in the World Series, Houston versus Los Angeles, and his buddy John, who I was telling you about, who's a real man's man, he goes, hey, for every home run, we'll take a shot. So I was like, okay, so we started keeping track of it, but then this was like a home run filled game. So we stopped keeping track, and then we're like, fuck. So then somebody hit a home run back to back to back. The Dodgers hit 3 home runs back to back to back.
Jesus.
So we forgot, and we're like, oh shit, we gotta take 3 shots. So we put 3 shots into 1 cup, for each of us. So I got through half of the cup, and I nearly threw up.
I would have puked.
And then, my buddy just took my cup and finished my half of it. And I was like, I'm going to throw up, guys. I'm going to throw up. So I went into his bathroom, because he has a bathroom right there that's kind of by the kitchen. I went into the bathroom, and there was a candle lit. And I walked in, I was like, man, it smells great in here. And then that urge to throw up just straight out the window. So I was just like, man, this is fantastic. And I was like, hey, ask your fiance, what candle is this? This is amazing. I'm too drunk to fucking look at the label. I'm all, what is this? Oh my god. So I still claim Fireball as my favorite, even though I clearly can't handle it anymore. Like when we took a shot on the 20th episode.
Oh yeah.
And I nearly fucking died.
Before we started recording. Yeah, David gets these random spikes of wanting to get really drunk.
Let's fucking do it. You know?
So I am not a shots person. I never really was. I've always liked controlling how much, and I like to drink a lot. I mean, I drink a lot.
I always talk you into it. Like even when you came over to the house, I was like, "Come on, let's do shots."
Well, here's the thing: I will do shots. I just don't like. I personally like. I have a buddy that all he does is shots. Like he won't drink a drink. Like he doesn't like the taste, and he likes Grey Goose vodka, but he will not
Oh no, not Grey Goose.
He won't make a drink of it. Like he doesn't. He doesn't like the taste, but he likes the drunk a little bit. He's not really a big drinker either. But so when he does drink, the only way he'll drink it is through shots. So he'll take a shot.
That sounds painful.
And he likes a shot with Red Bull, which is god awful at night. Like, why do that to yourself? You can't even pass out when you get drunk, but you're like too drunk. Right. So he'll take a shot, he'll chug some Red Bull, and then kind of gauge it. The only thing for me, and he doesn't do it well either, because he either gets too drunk or he just will stop because it's fucking sucks to take shots.
Right.
I like to do like the drinks. I'll make a strong drink, but as you can tell, if I want to get fucked up, I will drink it rather quickly.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to pace myself, I'll sip on it. They're always pretty strong though.
No, fuck yeah.
But I gauge them, right? How I want the night go. Shots, you can't fucking tell with shots. It's a fucking wild card because you do a shot. That's fine. It's unpleasant, and then it goes away. Right, like now.
Never start your night on shots. Never start your night on shots.
Yeah, that's a rookie move.
If you start your night on shots, you're fucked.
End your night on shots is what you should do. Because if you know you're going to sleep, and see, that's what ends up happening at your place when I go over. Is that I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm fucked up. I know I'm not gonna do shit tomorrow.
Especially since now that we live across the street.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it's either Leslie or Leslie's friend has it when before we went to Vegas, and we had a guys' night, and you came over, and it was me, Ray. And hanging out, and then Leslie and JoJo went out to the movies, and so
that's when I didn't live here at the time.
No, you were here.
Oh,
you were here. It was right after when you first moved in. It was last year. It was last June.
I had.
You weren't here yet? Oh wow. Okay,
the winter I left.
You were the last one to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you were still at the old apartment.
And I drove.
Oh, okay, so that's that night. I think, I don't know why I mix them up as two nights.
Because I don't think there was another night that I came over like
No,
that.
I haven't had another night.
No.
That
one night, I drove back home, and I should not have driven
so,
home.
Yeah, so I was already pretty fucked up, because I was drinking before people showed up, drinking during, and then drinking as it was winding down. So, Teach and I are there, and it's Teach, my buddy Ray, and me. We're in the kitchen and we're talking about Las Vegas because it was last summer when we were getting ready to go to EDC in Las Vegas, and we were taking a lot of shots that night. I remember that.
And Ray was drinking a lot too. He was advocating for the shots.
Yeah. And he was talking to me, so like it doesn't take a lot of convincing to get me to do it, especially when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't know. Come on. All right. Like I'll do it. So we were doing the whole thing, you know, like, all right, here you go. Cheers, do the tap, and then drink it. So we were all in. I think Leslie's the one that has it on video. We were all holding there with our shot glasses, and we're like this. So we're like this, just holding it. And then me and Ray are still talking. Teach takes it upon himself. He air cheers. He does the tap, and he drinks it by myself. And I just go, "You bitch!" And I drink it real fast, and Ray drinks his, because you're just like, yeah, I'm not involved in this conversation, I'm taking my shot. and you just go, "You bitch!"
It's on video?
Yeah, Leslie has it.
Oh,
I think she's the one that has it, but I gotta ask for it. There's a lot of drunk videos of me on people's Snapchats.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't like shots. I don't think they're a good way to drink alcohol. And I'm an advocate of drinking alcohol, but it doesn't take a lot for me to take shots, especially if they're being offered. Like I'm like,
if I'm not paying for them, like
yeah, no, even if I'm paying for them, actually, it doesn't take a lot to if you go out with me and like, let's do shots. I'm like, I'll buy the first round. Like, Miss Teach gets so pissed, like, quit buying people shots.
So I'm going out drinking with Teach from now on.
Yeah. Yeah. I am bad with, especially when I'm drunk, because I just want to like get super drunk, and I'll do at bars. My drink of choice at bars So this is really my drink, diet ginger ale and vodka. That's what I like to drink.
That's what he's been drinking every week for the past so many weeks.
And it used to be whiskey. It used to be Jim Beam whiskey and
you were doing a lot of cranberry and vodka for a while too.
That's when I went to the dentist and they were like, and I was like, I don't even drink sugar soda. I drink diet soda because there's no sugar. That's why I used to drink the diet soda. So I knew I was drinking a lot of soda. I thought, well, at least I'll do diet so the sugar won't fuck with my teeth. And they said the carbonation does the same thing. So I was like,
the acidity of it.
So I went to juice, but God, juice is a horrible hangover when you're, and especially if you're puking red. Like
it just looks
that
bad.
feels horrible, and you're just like, oh God, I don't know how bad I am. Like, is this blood? I don't know. Like,
how fucked am I?
Yeah, and it just it has a sour thing to it. It gives you Osco. If you drink cranberry. And I would drink the diet cranberry because of the sugar again.
God, I just can't get over the fact you drink diet. I'm like, that
it's really
me.
only because I have shit teeth right now and I don't have I don't have insurance. So I'm like, and I'll drink a soda here and there. I'm not a big soda person, but I'll drink a soda here and there. I don't care about the calories. I know someone who likes me, so I'm like, I don't care. But because I do drink pretty often, and a lot, I'll drink 2 or 3 of these a night. So I always thought the smart thing to do was not to buy the sugar ones. I thought the sugar is what rot your teeth.
No.
The carbonation. But I've gone back to
take it from me, who has only 1 molar and a lot of fake teeth. Yeah, it's not the sugar; it's the acidity of the
it's
carbonation.
The carbonation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's
but I'm back at it because fuck it.
So yeah,
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Amen, brother. YOLO. So me and Teach probably have like shit livers. It's like I do a lot of drinking in the house. I just don't openly advocate, but I do a lot of drinking. I know that Teach is very open about it. He does a lot of drinking. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if my liver is like 45. Like
yeah.
if I'm 45, I wonder where your liver's at.
Have you ever had like a ping in the back of your side? You're like, oh fuck, here we go. This is it. This is how it ends.
I've had a kidney stone.
I'm on Jesus. Can we talk?
Jesus, take the wheel.
I know I've been a bad Christian, but no, yeah, I don't know. I've also been though the type that I have asthma.
And he smokes cigarettes like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I do. Not really like a motherfucker. I'm pretty.
Well, no, you are a casual smoker. You smoke when you drink. That's what you said.
Well, I drink every day, but I smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes a night. When we come, I smoke like 1 or 2.
You smoke one before we record, and then one.
Sometimes I don't smoke before we.
No, yeah, not every time.
So
but
1, 2 to 3 cigarettes a night. Because sometimes it's 1 before, 1 in the middle, and then 1 at the end. Sometimes it's just
on one of our longer episodes. Those are typically the long ones.
Sometimes I just do the 1 in the middle, and that's it. And then actually, when we don't record, like when I'm here and I'll just drink by myself. That sounds so bad. But when I'm just drinking,
I'll drink with you.
When I'm just drinking normal, I actually like drinking. I like to just watch. I like to get really drunk and watch Intervention.
It's so fucking creepy.
You poor sick bastard.
Right, like, you sorry fuck.
Clink, clink, clink.
Alcohol has ruined my life. Yeah, it has, you asshole.
Stupid meth addict. You're killing yourself.
You don't know what you're putting in your body, man.
Anyways, that's not the point. But I won't even smoke those nights, right?
Really?
I'll just watch TV and drink. I won't even smoke. Sometimes I do. Like, right before I go to sleep, I'll just be like, fuck, just give me 1 cigarette to end, to just, it kind of makes me sleepy. But I mean, I make a pack of cigarettes lasts me like 2 weeks. Which is not, an avid smoker or a constant smoker. Pack is at least, a week. If not 2 to 3 days, a lot.
Because typically you're always stacked with, not stacked. That's
I always have cigarettes.
Yeah, like because because there was only one other episode where we've had to actually go out to the gas station to buy some more. So typically, because you have that cigarette canister thing that you usually have everything.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm slurring my words already.
You're a little slurry.
Yeah, but fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
But no, like yeah. I don't know.
We're talking about smoking. Yeah, I don't smoke a lot.
And I don't smoke at all. So.
And you don't smoke at all. I really don't smoke a lot. And I don't feel like I drink a lot. I just drink very often. So, like, I'll have maybe 2 or 3 drinks.
That's the denial talking, sir.
You think it's a lot? I definitely drink more these nights than I do like.
Oh yeah.
But like I'll get home. I was saying recently because school's been out that I get home early, so sometimes I'll start drinking when I get home around 5 or 4, and then I get so plastered because I just have so much time. But like during school and stuff, when I get home at 8 or 7 or 8, I have like 1 or 2 drinks. They are strong though. I do make them like this.
Yeah, you trust me. Like I thought I made drinks strong. I fucking got showed up by Teach. My drinks are pussy drinks compared to fucking what Teach does. Holy shit.
I just like to change the color. That's kind of what...
It still looks like ginger ale to me. Lighter
Yeah.
ginger ale.
Yeah, it just changes the color. So I usually do like a third of ice, and then I fill that third of ice, like up to... I cover the ice with vodka. And then I'll do like another third of ginger ale. And then this is the last third of air.
Oh shit, you almost tipped over the soda.
No, I didn't. I know I was doing.
Ah!
So you're drunk, David. See?
I'm getting drunk, yeah, I could tell. That shot fucked me over. Speaking
you
of...
another one?
You want to do another shot? No, I'll die.
Oh, you thought you were done.
You'll hear me. You'll hear me fucking... And I got some more of my Angry Orchard to go.
I really don't like shots at all.
I always like the idea of shots. No, fuck you. Well, you guys listen to this shit, so it's like the premise.
They're gonna
of
be
the
like,
show,
"Yo, we're really drunk this night, though," because there was no.
We were drunk last episode too.
I haven't heard. We were. I was so sick the next day. Like
I was fucked up because I drank 3 tall boys back to back to
back.
Yeah. And we had a segment where I was like, "Is this 24 ounces?" Like we didn't believe the can.
Yeah.
Because it was this one. It says 7.5 fluid ounces, and then it says 23.5. So I had 3 of these. And then I drank something before I came over too, so I was already pretty fucked. And then
I still don't get that.
So plus 2, so I had a Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, you know what? It's the weight ounces versus fluid ounces. No, it says fluid ounces on both. No, that's wrong.
Yeah, right. I don't know what Smirnoff's pulling on us, but if you have these new Smirnoff Ice Smashes, don't trust them.
Was it a good episode? I haven't heard it yet.
It was pretty good. I mean, I like all the episodes we put out.
I like them too, yeah.
You know, but
there's a lot of them where I'm like, God damn it, shut up. Like, I'm telling myself, like...
I feel the same way. Like, I feel... Because it's funny because I think since, like, when, like, you start talking about something you're interested in, I start talking about something I'm interested in. It's always that aspect. Because, like, when I play it back on my end, when I'm editing the episode, I'm like, fuck, shut up. Like, so, like, the last episode, we talked about Lars von Trier and the House of Jack built, the movie. So I was talking on and on. I'm like, you sound so fucking pretentious. Like, you know so much about movies. Shut up.
I feel the same way when I start talking super shit.
But, but at the same time, I'm like, I know my shit.
This is really how we talk, though.
It really is. So
that's what I like about is listening to these conversations we have.
And, it's like, I fucking... Okay, so, like, the Leaky Barrel, and I brought it up earlier on the show, but the Leaky Barrel does open mic nights every Sunday. And
Leaky Barrel is ghetto as fuck.
I've never been. I just know where it's at, but I've never been.
It's shady. You gotta get pat down before you go in there.
Really?
Yes.
I just know they have a lot of cover bands go there. Like, they have so many concerts there for cover bands. And, but yeah, every Sunday, I guess they started doing it, or they've been doing it, but they've only been recently promoting it. Where it's open mic night, 8:30 to 9. You go sign up for your time slot, whatever, right? And then you get like 5 to 15 minutes, just depending on how many people are there, how good you're doing, and this and that, to perform. So being a stand-up comedian is one of my all-time dreams. I just want to be famous. I want to make a lot of money from being just who I am. Because I see so many people do it. Like, there's so many WWE...
You gotta move. San Antonio is not the spot for this.
I know, dude. I know. Trust me, you're not the only one that's told me that. Because, like, I just see, like, with wrestling. So they do, every WWE pay-per-view, they have an hour before the show actually starts, they have a pre-show. And there's 2 guys, Peter Rosenberg and Sam something or another. They're just famous for liking wrestling. That's all they're famous for. They don't have a degree. They weren't a famous actor. They just started a wrestling podcast or talked about wrestling on their show. Boom! Now they're in paid by WWE to come out once a month and talk. Oh, I think Roman Reigns is going to win the match for 20 minutes, and then that's it. They get paid thousands of dollars for doing that. So when I did my metal podcast, I had a show. It's still up on YouTube. It's only 2 episodes. It's All Things Metal with David Clare. Because there's people that are famous just for liking metal music and just for knowing history about metal music. I'm very metal inclined. Like, I know a lot about metal. That's my passion. That's my favorite music of all time. And it's like, there's people famous just for knowing about metal. The guy, Eddie Trunk, he's a famous radio host for many different shows. He's just famous just because he likes metal music. That metal show, it's just 3 guys who like metal music.
Oh, the show.
Remember that show on VH1 Classic?
Yeah.
2 of them, granted, were stand-up comedians who were mildly successful, but all they talked about is their passion for metal music. Mm-hmm. They become stand-up comedians, they get a full show on VH1 Classic, and then they're engraved in metal history as, oh yeah, they're an advocate for metal music. Mm-hmm. One of the directors of one of my favorite Iron Maiden documentaries, Flight 666, he did a documentary series called Metal Evolution. He's just a nerd who likes metal music and knows how to film a documentary, becomes famous just for making a documentary about his favorite band. Then he gets a whole exclusive deal with VH1 Classic to cover all the subgenres. So that's what I want to fucking do. Like, I want to be a stand-up comedian, and I just want to be famous for having this podcast, for having my own opinions out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I make that joke, like, what if we get so famous we get invited to Comic-Cons and stuff, and like you wear a bag on your head, or you're facing the other way, or something.
Big Buddha head.
Yeah, something stupid, right? You know what I mean? Like, just like, I don't like.
I would be lying if I have this vision too of someone gets wind of it and it's just like, hey, these guys are entertaining. It's just fun to listen to and give them a platform. I mean, there's a podcast, Parcast. It's called Parcast. That they do a lot of they do RuPaul's podcast and the Guys We Fuck podcast, The Read, and Serial Killers. All the podcasts I listen to, it's all the same company that basically just goes, we heard about you, and now here's a studio, and just come here every week and make a podcast, and like, if you get the ratings, we will keep paying you for it. I would love for that to happen.
Man, because honestly...
But I work with ego a lot, so I always have to, like, flame that down. So that's why a lot of times you'll hear me say, like, I don't really talk about it a lot. And it's also a thing about keeping the and
but you know what? At the animosity. Animosity, no, that's not right. The anonymity to it?
Yeah, something like that.
Keeping it anonymous, you know, like... And I really like that, because when we were spitballing ideas for the podcast, Teach really had the idea to every week have a different nickname. And when we did the test episode, you're like, oh, tonight I'm the American Spirit.
Oh, that's right.
I still have that. I think the episode
that was the first one.
We never posted that. Yeah, that was a prototype thing.
That's right. I forgot
because
about that.
I started the All Things Metal. Teach was very supportive about it when I first started the idea.
Yeah, I liked it.
Very supportive. And he tuned into my live streams. He tuned in. He listened to all my episodes.
I used to do homework to your podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that felt really cool to have that type of support. Yeah. And Teach, told me like, hey, look, I've tried a podcast in the past. It failed.
I had one called, I don't remember what it's called, but my nickname, I never posted it. I have a few episodes of it, but my nickname there was The Chef.
The Chef?
Yeah, because I like to cook too. So.
Right, he has different professions. He likes to
cook. I like to cook, I like to teach.
Right. So he told me, he goes, hey, I had it with this, but like you told me like you guys smoked and then just got into like a kind of an argument, not so much a conversation.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So it wasn't really good. And I was like, that's the thing. I was like, I'm so down. And we actually talked about doing a podcast, me and him, for months.
We had.
But we never really got down to really sit about it until, I can't remember who brought it up. But
you did. You posted. So the podcast thing, it was always weird because my idea for mine, and I think it was called something like Who Cares? It was something off. It was more like I don't remember. It was like, what do you think about it? Or something like at the aspect. It was like very broad. My idea was always keeping it very broad. never keeping a topic as one thing, because I've seen there's a podcast called Guys We Fuck that I listen to, and they're feminists kind of, but they live in New York. They kind of remind me of the Broad City chicks, but they're just like the broke ass Broad City chicks, like. And see, the thing with theirs that I had to tune out, because at first they had a lot of good content. They would bring guys they fuck, like casual sex. It was like a blah blah blah, but their content dwindled, and it didn't make sense anymore, because then they had to stop doing the bringing guys we fucked in, because there's no more guys they fucked, and they at this point it was kind of like obvious that they would have to go out and fuck guys just to bring them in. That was not like the point of the podcast, right? So that was my thing, was like. Nothing very broad. I always having it very just anything's can be talked about. It's just out there. Anything's good to go. And my idea was to go out to each one of my friends, and even going out to people that were acquaintances, and just kind of going to them and be like, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast. Would you like to just spitball? I know we don't even know each other that well, but we could. That kind of discussion might be kind of titillating for a podcast to listen to." But it always seemed kind of awkward to present it to someone like that, and then to actually put it recorded down and just have this conversation back and forth, right? And it did come off awkward, because with one of my friends, who's actually a closer friend, my friend Frankie, who's the one that does the weight loss now, but he's a big pothead. And the thing we've always got along was, I'm a drunk, and he's a pothead, and even though our kind of poisons are different, we've always just been able to kind of hang out with each other, but that's how we talk. We kind of just go back and forth, kind of. But listening to him, like, it's kind of aggressive. Like,
right.
It sounds more like bickering, and no one likes to hear that. No one, it's like hearing your parents, fight over. It's like, it's making me mad. Like, just shut up. So you had actually, going back to what we were talking about, you had posted on Facebook about wanting to do a podcast, and I messaged you and I said, David, if you're gonna start a fucking podcast, and I like fucking podcasts, and everyone, I want to be on, and you said, I was hoping you saw that post, and I wanted you to reach out to me, and I was like, awesome, and that's what's, and here we are.
Because honestly, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history. So, the teach, and I've brought this up earlier in the past, and he got mad at me for saying it, kind of, because I was like, yeah, I was technically your boss at CSG.
Oh, yeah.
But even though he wasn't on my team, but Teach really came up to me a lot, asked me a lot of questions and that. So we really got
You were a haven, though, because you were really... A lot of the people there were super shitty and, like, super didn't want to deal with young, new... they were like, that's just so easy. Just deal with it. But you were always very cool about it. Like, put them on hold. Look, you can do this. Look at this. So this. It was badass.
Yeah, I tried really hard, because that's what I just love. Because I know insurance is a pain in the ass for anybody. So it's like, I really, because, at that time I wasn't licensed or anything, but, I had a lot of knowledge in it. I adapted really fast, and, I could see where insurance could be really confusing. So yeah, so me and Teach, because he came out of a training class, you were going to be at a different location altogether. You were going to be at the Haven for Hope campus, but luckily you got put with our campus. And so me and the Teach would just have that rapport for like 5-10 minutes briefly. He'd ask me for help, tell him to help, make a joke about it or something. Oh, okay. I'd be like, man, fuck that customer. Like, nah, who gives a fuck? Tell him this, and And I would, but yeah, I tried to adapt to everybody's learning style. Luckily, me and Teach were very verbal with each other. Then me and Mrs. Teach, surprisingly, me and Mrs. Teach were a lot closer, because she worked in the evening shift. She worked later than you.
She did.
I know that. So me and Mrs. Teach got a lot closer, and we'd always talk about, like, our relationships are so similar, and this and that. Started going, guys started inviting us over to your barbecues, me and Leslie, because Leslie was your team lead. Leslie was actually Teach's team lead.
Yeah.
And then even Mrs. Teach, she wasn't on my team, but she worked to 11 like I did, so I was helping her a lot.
In the way that teams were lined up, she was right next to your team.
Exactly. So it felt like the night team was just like one big team. Yeah. So we started hanging out more, but then as we started hanging out outside of work, me and Teach kind of got this rapport going where I could just have a good fucking conversation with him. And it was like no arguing. Well, here's what I think. Who cares? That's always, and then I remember that night when we had the guys' night, because I really conveyed a lot of information to you, and I was talking about I was still upset about my grandfather passing, and we were just talking. Teach really talked to me about a lot of stuff and everything, so had a really good night, even though I sent him home drunk, and he drove home drunk.
Well, you were avid on having me stay the night, but I am thick-headed, and I like to get home, especially when I'm really
That's
drunk.
true, too.
I just want to be home. I can't even. Yeah.
Because I was like, you can sleep on the couch, whatever. So then, like, I've always had this good rapport with him, and I do remember, like, him spitballing, because when I first started talking about a metal podcast, he was one of the first ones to like the page, one of the first ones to shout it out, this and that. So I was
excited about that podcast because I've always liked a few bands, System of a Down and Lamb of God.
Oh, I'm about to see them next month.
So they were always, and like Disturbed and...
Seen them?
I think that's pretty much the...
I know you said you like Tool, right?
I like Tool. I'm not as well versed with Tool, but I do enjoy it. But so I think it was Disturbed. System of a Down was my all-time favorite, and then Lamb of God is second, and then Disturbed would probably be third. Those were always, and with all their discographies, there's a lot of music you can just fuck with. But I always felt like I liked that music, but I never really knew when I would find something like that. Apple or Spotify or whatever would like recommend. It never really worked. I was like, I don't like this though. Like this is too much, or this is not heavy enough, or what. So when you did the podcast, I was excited to have this learning experience of like, what could I gain from it? Like, because I do like metal music, but I'm like scratching the surface. I know, but how could I get into it more?
Yeah, so like the thing with the whole metal podcast is like only so much happens nowadays with metal music, and it's like, and all I would
pigeonhole yourself
exactly, and then all I would be doing is recycling old material that's been done hundreds of times by hundreds of different people. Yeah, so I was kind of like, fuck, and then I did get discouraged because I wasn't getting views on my videos. It was like 2 to 3. I was doing similar. Well, actually, I was posting on SoundCloud first, getting 1 to 2 views. Posting to YouTube, 2 to 3 views.
It's a different style, that type of podcast, because it was a mono, coast, just talking into it. Which for me, I don't enjoy those type of podcasts. I can't listen to a one-person podcast because all I can think about, and I'm sure I've said this on episode 1 or something, where it's just like, I can see you just talking to yourself, and that creeps me out for some. No matter what the content is.
It felt weird because I would be in the dining room, sitting, with my headphones on, talking into my phone.
And you're, as a person, you feel the awkwardness of just talking into the ether, and then it comes across. Not just you. I'm saying like those one person podcasts. I can't listen because I always hear that awkwardness where it's like, because I know you're by yourself when you recorded this, Versus when you have someone there having this conversation, it feels more
exactly. And then
conducive.
with the solo person podcast, you're really dependent upon feedback from viewers.
Oh yeah.
And so it was kind of like this. Like it got really discouraging, and I gave up on it. But at the same time, I'm a performer. I like being out there. I like having my name out there, whether it be good, bad, like whatever. Like I just like my name being out there. That's my goal, is to be famous, whether it be for this, stand-up comedy, insurance, acting, anything. I want to be out there because I just want to make a name for myself. So I remember posting, like, I'm interested in doing another podcast. This thought has been in my mind forever. Even though the metal thing failed, I still want to do it. And then I had you in mind, but I just didn't know how to approach you at that. Because we were friends, but we weren't like, hang out every week like we are now, buddies.
Yeah.
So it was like, when you messaged me, and especially with moving into the apartment right here, it was like we had that accessibility. We started meeting a couple weeks before we actually filmed the first episode. Because we had the first week, we met up, talked, drank for a few hours. Okay, whatever, we went home. The next week, we did a prototype episode, which maybe will come out maybe years from now. Who knows? How fast we get famous. Like, here's behind the scenes, uncut shit.
Prototype,
yeah. So, and then sure enough, every single week, Teach and I have gotten closer and closer and closer. And, I've expressed a lot of personal stuff outside of the recording. He expressed a lot of personal stuff to me. He's invited me to be one of my groups.
David knows my real name.
I know his real name. I know what he looks like. So honestly, like, this podcast has really brought me close to a really great guy, because this is how literally, if there was no recording right now, if it was literally just meeting up every Tuesday just to drink, this is how our conversations would go.
Yeah.
Because we'd get drunk and ramble on. And I don't know.
We're doing.
Yeah, so pretty much. So we were like, let's just record it and put it out there. See who listens.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you checked the emails about the YouTube, like that sends to our podcast email. but they send like YouTube every month will send statistics. Over 21 hours of our voices have been listened to in the month of May so far.
Oh wow!
So, or month of April or May so far, but 21 hours minimum. 21 hours was listened to in the month of May.
Like 10 of those.
Yeah, it's like I know the majority. Well, I listened to it before. Once it hits YouTube, I've given up on it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny when people come up to me and tell me stuff about like, oh, when you're talking about this, I'm like, yeah, like I laugh, like I know what they're talking about, but I'm like, fuck, I don't remember.
So it's so funny because the way you're so out with this podcast and with people you work with, even so, because the work aspect to me is mind-boggling because these are work people, right? So This is different. So like when I have friends like that know me and they know I have this podcast, like I'm like, yeah, I have this podcast and I'm totally anonymous, but I'm cool with you listening because you already know all this, whatever, right?
Right.
But as far as like random people or like my coworkers, I can't imagine them listening to this. Like I get really only because only because I don't express this stuff. I'm pretty quiet. Like, and I like to have my cards hidden. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'll allude to a lot of people that I'm cool with certain things or whatever, but it's never really an outright statement, at work at least. Just because to me, work is like this little thing that you kind of have to deal with in life that you just want to be as comfortable with as you can. And to bring this into it, kind of throw stuff out because it can piss some people off.
See, so that's what I talk about. So when I wasn't a big advocator at first about my podcast at work, because when I have one-on-ones, our podcast, sorry, no, fuck you. You in the past said like, oh, you can take all the credit for this shit, like, because I'm anonymous. This is all you, pal. But I do correct myself. I say me and my co-host. You know, I do a lot of that because it's a team effort. You know. You know, I don't look at it as far as like, oh, I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all that.
Although you do all the work.
Yeah, it's our podcast. This is what we've built. This is what we've done. But at first, I was like, I don't want nobody at work to hear about this. I want this to be something that somebody random person discovers. You know, like friends listen to it, anything like that. So I remember because my supervisor, we have one-on-ones together and everything, right? So, and when I first because it was around when I first came to her team, to my supervisor's team, and she was, well, what do you do on the side, and this and that, and I was like, oh, well, hobbies, I have a podcast with my buddy of mine, and this and that, he's a teacher, but, you know, so we keep his name as The Teach. She goes, oh, well, what's your name? Because my kids love listening to podcasts. And I was like, well, it's a very not safe for work. It's there's a lot of foul language. There's a lot of inappropriate talk.
What is it?
NSFW.
Yeah.
And so she goes, no, we're adults. Like, they're adults, but they like podcasts. Like, I can promote, like, I can tell them, like, hey, well, you know, my rep has a show. If you want to listen to it, I was like, well, it's not work appropriate. I was like, it's an outside of work thing. I was like, you know, so I can't be responsible for...
a customer?
This is my supervisor.
Oh,
I would never tell a customer that.
I don't get... What do you mean her children?
Her children, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, well, they're adults.
Yeah,
but like,
but it was her... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, well, it's called Who Cares with David Claren to Teach, and she wrote it down. And so I was like, but I just gotta let you know, I was like, I don't badmouth anybody here at work, but it is outside of work. I was like, if somebody from work listened to it, I don't want to be, I was like, it's not something I'm trying to promote.
Right.
And she's like, no, yeah. She goes, yeah, whatever, as long as you're not sharing customer info and everything like that. She goes, who cares? And I was like,
exactly.
Yeah, I was like, get it? And she goes, ha, 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 ha. So that day in huddle, she goes, well, David, tell the team what you told me, you know, in our one-on-one. I was like, oh, well, I have a podcast. I was like, it's not it was when we were still just on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
I was like, we only have a couple episodes. It's called Who Cares with David Claren to Teach. A couple people, okay. You know, and then when I was like, okay, and I felt a little bit more comfortable because I even said, I was like, hey, but it's inappropriate. Like, I'm not responsible for what you hear. I was like, because I'm off the clock. I'm not.
What you find offensive.
I was like, this is my outside of work identity. You know, this is not, you know, right. If you get offended by something, you could say it to the show, but, you know, at work, I'm still going to maintain professionality. This is not. Yeah, sure. Luckily, my actual team, some people find it, you know, the people that actually listen to it find it pretty funny, entertaining, you know, or just not like ha 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 hilarious, but it's like silly.
There are certain things. I mean, that's how podcasts are a different genre, you know.
Yeah, and then when I was in property training, you remember Z from?
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he still listens to the show. Thank you so much for if you do. If not, who cares? But because we're fine. We're doing fine now. No, I'm just kidding. So when we were when I was in training for property training, he was like, David, you have an interesting fact I know you're going to talk about. And I was like, what? And he goes, your podcast? So then in the training class, a few people started listening to it. I think we still have one person that listens to it every week. I'm not too sure. But I guess at work, my podcast started gaining, or our podcast started gaining this kind of popularity, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So and
notoriety.
So I've told you, I've had a couple people come up to me, are you David Clare from Who Cares? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, hey, your show's pretty funny. So I'm like, okay. So, but I'm just kind of like, but at the same time, because I talk about jerking off, talking about, fucking Leslie.
It's very exposing.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like, if I'm going to be a stand-up comedian.
For you, it's more exposing than for me.
Exactly. But at the same time, I'm like, we're all adults.
Yeah.
If you're a man, you've touched your dick.
Right.
If you're a woman, you've had your fingers up your vagina.
But there's a part of society out there, so especially at a certain age of the generation, that although we all know it, it's still like a joke of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like people that work for me, it's like, I know that it's all this, like I know.
Right.
But at the same time, they're of the generation that it's like, but you said it, like you know, there's a fuel there for you that we can.
You stroked your cock,
right? Like and I can still reserve the fact that I never said it, so I don't have to fucking.
You've never thought, even though I have 5 kids,
right,
you don't know,
right? You know what I mean? And it's annoying too, though. But like I've had moments where, so like one of my because I've shared it a few times on my personal page.
Yeah, you have, but you shared it. Hey, my buddy has a podcast.
Well, see, the thing is that if people, for my friends, have watched closely, the first few were where I was very liberal about saying, it's me, but it's not me, for the page.
Kind of that playful thing with it.
And then I've gotten to where, progressively going, oh, it's not me. But if they had ever seen those original first few posts, it's me. Mm-hmm. And so one of my coworkers, she asked me, do you have a podcast, don't you? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, fuck. So she paid attention to when I first came out with that. And I shared it to her. And then I was kind of excited at first because I was like, that's cool. Someone blah, blah, blah. But then I freaked out because I remember talking shit about another coworker.
Right.
I've had a few episodes about that. And I had to go to her and go, hey, I talked shit, and luckily it wasn't her. And I go, I've talked shit about this coworker. I go, but look, it's just it's a show, and
to be honest, some of it is really built up.
A little bit.
A lot of it, not a lot of it, excuse me, but some of the stuff we talk about, because one, we're drinking.
Yeah. 2,
it's supposed to be a comedy show. We want to have that comedy feel.
We come out with it more grandiose.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But I was about to mispronounce it, totally butchering it. But yeah, so a lot of it is kind of over-exaggerated, over-the-top, kind of for that entertainment value. But a lot of it is really
true. And
the
way we experienced it at the time.
Exactly.
It's not... It's grandiose in the sense that, anything dramatic that happens in your life, if you really put it on an ultimate platform, it's not that dramatic. But when you experience it, it feels that way. And
it's like, oh!
We portray it that way, because that's how it felt. So it is true, but at the same time, it's, whatever. We're working with it, because it's a show. And I told her that, and she was like, I hope you don't talk shit about me. And I was like, no, I don't. I had to think. I was like, fuck, have I? Maybe. Because I've used this so much anonymity. That's the word, anonymity. Of not having to worry about it because no one knows who I am. And then now that someone knows and they're listening to it, I'm like, fuck, I got to think about it. And there's 20 plus episodes where I'm like, did I ever say this or that? Is she ever going to listen through all of them? Blah, blah, blah. And I don't think I have. But there's that coworker that actually I'm really close with too, actually. And I've expressed, even when I talk shit about her, I'm like, love her to death, blah, blah, just these things that annoy me. But it scares me to death that she would ever listen to this because, God, that would be a can of worms. If she ever listened and heard the shit that I was talking about, because I've used, because you are out there, you've also been knowing what you can and cannot say.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's been times when I've told you, I was like, hey, remember what we talked about? Don't be surprised if this is cut out.
right.
So there's a lot of stuff that I've talked about and expressed, and now I'm not going to go into detail now,
Yeah.
that I've talked about on the show that either something has been resolved or something was
Right.
like, no, I looked too much more into it than what it was, and I've cut it out.
But for me, I have the anonymity, so we don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Until, for me, either when someone finds out and it's someone that person's been talked about, where... So, I've talked about a lot of stuff on here. And there was a point the other day where she was talking about... We're close, so she was talking this and that, and I just remember thinking... It's a flash in my head went, show her the podcast, because you talk about this, and you explained it in my head. I'm like, Teach, you explained it good on that episode. Show her this episode. Because in the context of us talking, it might be beneficial for her to hear that way, instead of us in the office talking this way, where I'm like, God, I can't get my point through. But on
Right.
the podcast, it came out good. But then I go, oh, fuck, I can't do that, because if she likes it and she goes, oh, this is cool, let me listen to all of them, and there's like 3 episodes of me like Jerk of the Week. She's like the recurring Jerk of the Week. That would fucking suck.
Right.
Like, you know.
And and I agree with that, because that's when I try to be as very transparent as I try to not edit as much as my stuff as I can. There's been times when I've been a little bit too inebriated that I've ranted about certain things that even Teach has been like, are you sure you want to keep that? And I'm like, fuck them, I'm keeping it.
That was once.
Oh yeah, the one time. But
Yeah.
then there's been things where I really when I get down to the chopping block, and
You
I'm
don't
like,
need it on there. It's just
like,
not necessary.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and I'll talk about it after we're done recording. There's one that's like they actually listen to the show now, and I'm like, I'm so glad I cut
took
that
it out,
out.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, and but like I said, with me, this is something. If if you're a coworker of mine, or you're working where we work, and you listen to it. This is me outside of work. I'm a very different person at work. I'm very reserved. I don't talk openly about jerking off or fucking my fiance, and this and that. Because there are people that I want to keep in mind. There's stuff that I'm like, I do want to hold that. Leslie is okay with me talking about her. She's like, you being crazy on the podcast and stuff, and she's used to it because she knows how guys are with talking about sex and this and that, and I'm not going on a huge platform, but
Right.
it's just us. But I guarantee you, if this were to gain actual traction, maybe I'll kind of hold back on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still gonna cuss.
You ever worried about that, though? That if it does gain traction, this is all out there now, though. So even if we can edit the future stuff because we understand it's still this past stuff is...
I could technically go out and edit the past stuff. It would take a lot of time. I could technically go in.
But it might not be as good of a show.
It may not. But at the same time, I want to be a stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedians are very open about themselves.
Yeah,
very
exactly.
open about everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I do get famous for being a comedian or from this podcast,
Yeah.
it's part of the shtick. It's part of the show.
I had like a closet feeling of wanting to do stand-up comedy.
comedy.
I was gonna say being a stand-up comedian and doing stand-up comedy.
Right.
Came up
Comedy.
Gruel.
Hashtag comedian gruel. Fucking goddamn.
So, but not really, because I that's a pipe dream for me. I like teaching, but having this out there. But listening to podcasts too, I listen to a lot of podcasts all the time, and every one of them they get a lot of emails about, I'm starting a podcast. What are some tips? Blah, blah. And every one of them says, they're all different people, different walks of life, totally opposite from each other. But they always all say, you might not like the attention you get only because if you want a good podcast, you have to be talking about your everyday life.
Right.
And it's very exposing, and it's very transparent, and it can piss a lot of people off, too.
Exactly.
And if you want your name on it, especially. See, like me, I'm kind of forfeiting that right because I'm anonymous. But at the same time, for me, it's hard because I'm proud of this stuff, too. You posted that picture of, all our podcasts.
Right.
And I showed my sister teacher. I was like, look at all the podcasts you made. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, and in my head, though, I'm like, I can't share that with a lot of people, though. There's a big chunk of people that I just cannot even let them know. My family, for sure. My parents, cannot have them listen to this
Right.
shit.
I still don't know if my mom listens to it or not. I'm too scared to ask.
Yeah.
I'm too scared because my mom likes the page. She likes a lot of our stuff.
She probably does. You know, one time, I don't know if this is revealing, I use 3 different venues for internet. I have
Right.
an iPad, I have a Samsung phone, and I have a laptop. The iPad and the laptop, and my work computer, that's 4 that I use for it. They give you the option of like changing how you comment.
Right.
Usually, if it's one of our posts, it always posts as the page.
Right.
But for whatever venue I use to comment, I commented on your mom's thing as the page. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I didn't even realize it. And then and this was like days later, and I looked back on it. I don't know how I came back on that comment. No one liked it.
I saw it, and I was just like,
Why didn't you delete it?
I don't know, because I was like, I don't know if Teach did this on purpose.
No,
or
I
if
did
Teach
not do it on
Okay,
purpose. And I deleted it.
Okay, you deleted it?
I
'Cause I was like,
deleted
I know what post it is. I can go back and delete it.
No,
if I
I
want.
deleted it because I didn't. Whenever I think it was probably the iPad I must have done that. I didn't realize that it does it as me instead of the page or something like.
Right.
I didn't change it right, and that was scary though because I was like, "Fuck!" Just
You
because
just put your name out there,
You
right?
know what I mean? Like this is obvious now, and now people know. And even now, I'm like, if people can recall what that was, maybe that was that weird comment, like, "Who is this guy posting?" Like, so I don't know.
But you recognize those my mom, because my mom has a weird ass name on
Well,
Facebook.
you've told me what
Yeah.
the name is.
I was like, she has a weird ass name, but it's my mom, so
Mhm.
like but yeah, no, and so like the funny thing is, because me and my mom, we've had a very open communication, you know what I mean, like as far as like being, because like now that I'm an adult, and like the funny thing is the dynamic with me and my parents changed a lot when I moved out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, even when I was 18 and in college and stuff, when I was cussing, my dad, hey, you watch your fucking mouth. Like, you don't
Yeah.
talk that way in this fucking house. And this and while he's cussing. But ever since I moved out, like, I can go like, hey, dad, you faggot. And this and that. And he goes, man, fuck you. And, like, we have that rapport.
Yeah, you're
And, like,
older
with
now.
my mom, it's like, you know, when I cuss and stuff, it's like, as soon as I changed, as soon as I got out of the house, it was like, oh, okay. And, you know, and it's like, with me and my mom, I think... And I love both my parents evenly. You know, it's a hard thing to say, but it's like with me and my mom, we connected a lot more because we have that same sense of humor.
Yeah.
My mom showed me stand-up comedy. My mom showed me a lot of sitcoms, this and that. So I've always had a lot of that common humor with my mom, as opposed to like with sports, I have a lot of common with my dad as far as thinking and stuff. But so yeah, so my mom comments on our podcast and likes the podcast, but I'm scared to say like, hey mom, do you actually listen to it? I was like, cause I'm sorry.
Yeah, no shit.
I was like, I'm sorry for what I've done
See,
in your bedroom.
I don't imagine. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. I call them the older generation. I don't know if that's disrespectful, but they are. The older generation. Am I slurring now?
Yeah,
The
we're both
older
slurring. That's all I know.
generation and podcasts, to me, I'm not really worried about. They don't really mesh. And that's another thing with my coworker is that she is that older generation. Oh, fuck. Right? If she's listening. She is, though. I mean, they're around my mother's age and blah,
They
blah,
were
blah.
born when they were born.
They were
can't
when they
help
were
it.
born. And so podcast is something that the older generation, I feel like, doesn't really get a lot.
I associate that with people our age.
That we don't really... Oh,
No, like podcasts started getting popular when
with
we were
our
in
age.
school.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, for them... It doesn't. I can understand why podcast doesn't make sense for them because this form of entertainment is people talking. I mean, no, ours is a low budget, very low budget.
This
very
is
just kind of,
highly low budget.
Very just kind of like a. But they're like really high budget ones that are still the same. It's really just people talking, you know.
just with better sound quality.
Better
That's all it
sound
is.
quality, and they have you know, advertisements, and there's stuff that you can get perks with if you put their name.
Angry Orchard.
Right. Who cares? Code. You know, type in who cares to get 10% off. That's
Oh,
about
that would be so cool.
That's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, though. It really is just them one-on-one talking with people. And the older generation doesn't get that because for them, you go to see a movie, right? You go and you take time out to see a movie. You go and you take time out to sit on the couch and watch a program. The podcast doesn't make sense. I don't take time out. I listen to the radio when I'm in the car, sure, because
But
it's
that's it.
in the way, and that's just something there. Podcast, I mean, I'm at work, or I'm in the car listening to radio, that's only 20 minutes or so. I can't listen to an hour podcast. It doesn't make sense. Versus,
it's a different dynamic because when you really see the time frame of the show, it's like, that's long. And then
they're usually not very comfortable with technology and this and that, so it's like,
how do I access it? This is
pause and play, and doesn't keep it, and phooey,
tech.
Yeah, just put on, 105.3 or whatever, or 106.7, the classic rock.
The Eagle.
Yeah.
The Eagle, 106.7.
Right. So the podcast for Live Generation is kind of lost. So I don't think your mom listens to it.
I don't know. And at the same time, I would love for my mom to listen to it because I think this is really funny. I think this is something that she would crack up at, especially with you because you're very funny too. Like there's a lot of moments that you crack me up. Which too, I don't tell you as much as I should, but a lot of my coworkers and people that listen to it, they're like, "Man, the teach is awesome. Who is it?" This is now I'm like, no, like you don't need to know who it is.
Well, thank you, because every time I'm like, God, Teach, you sound like the biggest asshole.
Send us emails where you compliment the Teach. Teach loves you.
Oh yeah.
And so it's
send them all.
You need to boost his economy. You need to boost his.
It won't change. I'm still gonna talk the way I'm gonna talk.
Right. But his name will until we have a series finale. Maybe then it'll be like, my name is, and then the episode will end. And then
there you go.
And that's it.
It'll black out like The Sopranos. Or
right.
something.
Yeah, fucking at a diner. Like finally we do a live stream, and as Teach is about to enter the screen, you see a little bit of his ponytail out.
There you go.
So there's your only hint. Ponytail.
Is that even a really good one?
It's not. It's not. You know how many
one.
people have man buns and ponytails nowadays? I had a fucking man bun when we met.
You did?
Yeah. I kind of miss it though, not gonna lie.
Yeah, one of those. I have like a man bun.
I
always say man bun because like I have a full head of hair.
I had the, what is it called? The
You have the like a top knot.
Top knot. There you go. I had the samurai thing going on.
Because your sides were shaved, and you had like littlest like an. Yeah.
Yeah. It got longer after you left CSG, but
Well, the thing is that those. No, I'm not knocking them, but they're always so thin looking. They always have that like.
Yeah, I like doing that little sound effect.
Very pointy. Yeah, it looks like Samurai Jack because the way.
Because like the longer your hair
even
is.
Samurai Jack had a full head of hair. But.
Yeah. And it's like, because when I had shorter, like as it was getting longer, the top knot would be like the middle of my head, a little bit back. And then I remember the longest I let it get was around 2016, end of 2016, when I let it, like, it was long. And I was able to do an actual ponytail, and I can go like this, and the ponytail will go back and forth. But then I got sick of it, and I shaved my head all together, and I went bald.
Yeah.
And then I was bald, and then I was just growing out. Then when I got hired at Nationwide, it just shortcut and everything.
I've been wanting always to do like this edge up kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be like really fit and good looking to pull that off.
Nah, you can do it.
No, you do. And like I feel like I would just like this fat asshole that just has like this like you're doing too much.
Mullet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like I just have long hair. And that is what it is. And my family's always, when they tell me they're like, I'm getting married this year too, they're like, are you gonna have long hair for the wedding? Are you gonna cut it? You're gonna cut it, right? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do like a beehive. Like I'm gonna have like a full up.
I'm gonna throw shit in your hair, especially if I'm a groomsman.
Oh my God.
I'll be like, you motherfucker.
Can you imagine? But I'm like, even Mrs. Cheech though, she's like. So I know she would prefer me with short hair.
I don't know how. I've only seen Teach with long hair. Like looking at your face right now, I can't see you with a haircut like mine.
Bro, I used to get like a fade. I used to go like every 2. That was the thing. I get obsessive with. I have an addictive personality with everything.
Same, yeah. If I do something once, I need to do it.
Pull them up, but especially with the hair, I used to, and that's the thing. I had to like let it go because I would get it done every 2 weeks, and I used to get like. I think at first it was like a one fade, a taper fade going up on the sides, and I used to actually do the faux hawk back in.
Oh my God!
But this was
terrible faux hawk.
I had a nice. It was cool when I was doing it. This was a little before they got really bad, and then it was like Mexican soccer players. That's what you connotated with.
Oh yeah, now.
Especially in South Dakota, it was like a really cool, like edgy look. It was like a city look for them. You know, no one did that. But then, you know, a week, 4 days will go by, and then it started going out. My this side goes straight out.
It does. It poofs out.
Yeah. So it would suck because like 4 days would go by after I get like a fresh cut, it was exactly the length I wanted. And then 4 days later, it starts growing weird. And it would suck because I would have this corner where like the sides would go out straight and this would go out front, and there was nothing I could do about this. Like
it just looked square.
I had this corner going on like right here.
Yeah, and because like I wore a lot of headbands, and so when I wore headbands, it would look good with on the top of my head, but on the sides of my hair, it just looked stupid because there was this one small little line. And that was pressed down.
Well, I would
the
have
rest would be
all
up.
right here. All right here would be this 90-degree angle because this grew out straight like that, and this was pushed this way for the phone.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. So then what the thing that I would do is I used to get a skin fade from like, and then
I did a skin fade.
So it would be like nothing here all the way up because my idea was that it would take longer for it to grow.
Exactly.
And it would grow into that hair.
No, it grew back.
But then it looked
fast.
like a fucking Nazi because it was so bald.
I did the full skin. I did the Sub-Zero is what some people call it. Where all around, but I would keep the top so I could do my ponytail still.
Oh, well,
so,
I ended up doing bald on the top too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I ended up just cutting all of it off, and the sides, blah blah blah, and I had the girl liked me that used to do my hair at the time, so I would go in and just it would be like $5, and I used to get my eyebrows done and everything too.
Okay, that's
I was like
too much.
super. Yeah, she would do like and she would do it not like really. Actually, I remember my dad being like, "You look like a fag," because he was like, "They look too good. They look too perfect. Like you're fried."
I've always, and again, this is not because again, this is just kind of my upbringing, my personal thing.
Yeah.
If you got like if you were a guy and said, "Oh, I got my eyebrows done," I'd be like, "Yeah, you're gay."
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you fucking queer.
the girl liked me, and she
You did it for a girl. You fucking freak.
I didn't do it for the girl. I liked the pampering kind of part of it.
Okay.
And I also was a little too into myself because I was thin and I thought I was like the shit. And I was like, I had like the Guido side to me too, where I'm like taking care of all this shit. Like my eyebrows were lined up, and blah blah blah. My edge up was always good. And now I'm like, shit, I got like a unibrow right now, and
It's the fucking
I look
stitch.
nothing like I always tell Mrs. Teach like I tricked her into loving me because I look nothing like the way I did.
She kissed the prince and turned into the frog. Then
I
the other
was
way around.
right, exactly, yeah, exactly. Well, okay, like this is not. See, this is like how it would kind of grow and it would piss me off.
Oh, see, that's how I currently am right now. Like with this. Because like
Even
when I get out of
goes down,
but this is because like when I put the pomade and everything, when I do my hair, I have to press it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm currently using right now. I'm getting used to pomade, but when I get out of the shower, it's just all like.
See, can you see the edges of my hair on my ears
Yeah,
right there?
you can-
The way it
yeah.
goes straight out.
You can definitely tell on that. Ha! You fuckers will never see it. Ah ha ha!
Yeah, no.
Man, we're at 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Okay.
It's like-
I really
Yeah, we didn't. I thought we were really going to go longer with the Santa Fe shooting. The most I can really say, and again, I'm not trying to sound contradictive of what we talked about earlier, but honestly, to all the families affected, there's not much to say. Our honest thoughts and prayers go out to those families affected by it.
Like, I honestly think of you in a sympathetic and empathetic way that I want better gun control, and I want better for this country.
There needs to be.
Because this needs to not happen to anyone else, because I can't imagine what you're going through.
The fucking...
That type of thought.
I'm starting to get teary-eyed. The fucking fact that people fear for their lives going to fucking school, dude, is not...
Students.
It's students.
Students that... Young children that have...
Can
you imagine?
I never thought
it like that.
No, I never thought to myself, man, what if I go to school today and there's a fucking mass shooting? Like, what if I fucking lose my friends, my
where you
schoolmates?
You want to have drills so that you can better prepare yourself when you get shut up. When your school gets shut up, you want...
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah,
videos?
I've started to see those, yeah. And, the fact that, my fucking sister, she's going to be a senior next year. And,
that's scary.
You do.
It's scary.
You hear about a fucking school shooting, and, you never know, you never know what fucking school is going to be. And I'm getting really choked up right now. And especially it happened in fucking Texas, you know, like
A lot of them, yeah.
It's never a fun thing to hear about, and the fact that this is still a fucking conversation that goes on to this fucking day, dude, like,
yeah, it's
fuck you. If you voted for Trump, fuck you, dude, because who knows what Hillary Clinton would have done? Who knows what any fucking president would have done? I'm not blaming the president 100% that this is happening, but the fact that fucking the NRA is so deep in the pocket of the government is so fucking pitiful. It's pitiful, man. And it's like, you know, the fact that one day I could wake up and my sister could be on the fucking news, you know, like...
Yeah.
Like,
and
and then fucking Donald Trump's thoughts and prayers are with me, but fuck you. Like, those don't mean shit to me, man.
Nothing gets done.
And, you know, and we've had several episodes about this, and, you know, nothing's going to fucking change until... And I 100% agree. Every fucking hick that voted for Trump, if you listen to this show and you voted for Trump, I hope you fucking die, because we need to make room for the real fucking, you know, I don't label us what you want, liberals, millennials, whatever, the people that know common sense, that know what we want, that know how this government should work for us, that's who needs to be rising up, you know, and that's what we need. This modern era won't change until these people that still vote for the same conservative fucking Republican, until Texas turns into a blue state, which who knows when that will ever be, because Texas is one of the biggest states in the country, and with this
Austin, our
oh man,
Democratic as fuck,
dude. And the fact that, you know, Hillary Clinton won, and again, you can't predict the future of who the president is going to be, you know, and what changes the president will bring.
Who's really behind picking the president?
Exactly, you know, and it's a shitty thing to say, because you really hope the government works the way you learn how it works and everything like that. So, to honestly, with all these school shootings, I hope to God that by the end of the year we don't have another discussion or another episode about it.
Well, we probably will.
Yeah, we probably will, and that's the sad thing about it.
And all we can do is hope that it's not your child or a child we know, or for me and Mrs. Teach, we're teachers.
Yeah.
And we're there too, you know.
Exactly.
Our life, just being there. I mean, not even just children, but us too. And our beings are at stake. And no one cares. No one really cares.
No one fucking
we
cares.
care when it happens, right? People care when it happens, and thoughts and prayers and this and that, but they don't change nothing.
The change starts with you. You know,
But you know, you're paranoid about Britain from the 1700s. So
fucking muskets and shit. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, this episode is really dedicated to them. You know, guns just need to be regulated. That's no one's taking away guns from you, you paranoid assholes. No one's taking away everything. If you have a gun, congratulations, you beat the race. You know, we want to prevent guns from getting the
No,
hands
actually,
of.
if you have a gun, you have an obligation to not get it into the wrong hands, because that's what's happening.
Exactly. Lock your fucking guns up. This fucking asshole was able to get easily accessible a gun.
Yeah, if you have a gun and you think it's just you can just have it around, you can't. You need to. That's an obligation now, and you need to do a lot more about it and be safe about it. Because there's plenty of people that are not, and they're thinking just like you that it'll never get in the wrong hands, just like you think that it won't, but it does, and it has, and it is. So
next time, really think about it. The next time before you share a stupid ass Facebook post about thoughts and prayers, or change your stupid ass profile picture to a temporary fucking filter, it doesn't mean shit to anybody. And fuck you if you think have some sense of entitlement for doing that. Because shit needs to change. And I know this took a very dramatic turn.
It really did.
But
I think we're talking about my hair.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not trying to make light of a situation, because really I really knew before the leading up to this episode when it happened. You know, I was like, yeah, Teach and I are going to have a lot to talk about. But when we started talking about it, there's not much to fucking say. You know, we've talked about it.
Said already. Yeah.
So really pay attention to politics, to be honest. You know, pay attention to what's going on, because I know you have loved ones, and I guarantee you, if you are a gun advocate, imagine yourself having a child going to school and they get killed by the hands of some untrusted person with a gun.
You know what? I read something. This might be totally off
Fuck it,
the
go
rail,
for it.
and I have no idea. But, you know, the Roman Empire was the greatest empire of its time at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it fell. And no one thought it would fall. And this has nothing to do with guns for them and this and that. But the way things went with the power struggle and the way people were divided and it crumbled, you know. And it's just food for thought. It's just like, that can happen to America. We're on top. We've been on top forever. It feels like, you know, especially our generation and the Generation Z before us, we have been on top forever. And that's all well and good. And I mean, I talk a lot of shit about America and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I'm an American and this is my country and this is my livelihood too. And I don't want to fall like Rome did either. Not that we would, but
Right.
nothing is permanent. Nothing is safe. And you just have to really and not for the paranoia sake of keeping guns, but the mentality of what do you think America should be? Because that's what Rome did too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Things can change and being progressive without it losing some kind of whatever you feel it should be.
It's all about open-mindedness.
You have to progress for the time. You can't be so solid and permanent in your thoughts. There's a lot of space out there for change.
Just look at me. If I'm any example, I hated rice for the longest time. Hated rice, hated eating it, but now I'm starting to eat rice.
I'm like, Ray Rice? Yeah, I fucking hate that guy too.
Ray Rice. Okay, he's a Super Bowl champ asshole. Just kidding. Yeah, I hated eating rice, but you know what? Now I'm starting to eat rice. You know, so
and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, so I'm starting to be less picky, you assholes. Still fuck everybody who gives me shit.
Also,
are you going to bring up my Facebook
yes,
post?
that's fucking Facebook.
42, dude.
Okay, actually, I'm not going to.
Yeah, right. I admitted that's why I shared the post.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm picky. So all I'm saying is that you can't go your whole life with only one thought when you haven't really explored the options. So
no, you also can't be so rigid and
for her pleasure.
Not ribbed.
Oh, sorry.
Rigid. Rigid as in not non-malleable about certain things, because that's how corporation, you know, we're a corporation. America's a corporation.
Yeah, we are.
We're not really government. And I saw a post about how the Americas are run like a government. I mean, like a corporation. America is run because we're not a monarch. We're not an empire. We're a republic. And then we become a democratic republic. And it's really a corporation. And corporations only progress and stay, viable through change. Change with the time. And if you don't want us to fail, you have to be open to a lot of different shit. So,
right.
Even myself, I mean, I have my views in this and that. I think I've expressed what I think about guns, but I'm very open and very malleable and very understanding of different ways of doing this. You know, if I had more, we would take up all the guns and just be done with them. I understand that'll never happen, so I'm very open to like other things of doing that. So if you're very the type of like, I want my weaponized arsenic at all times, you know, try to fucking drop some of that.
Some men just can't handle their arsenic.
You know, shit like that. That I don't know. I'm drunk. So.
Yeah, this got really preachy right here at the end, but you know what? It needs to be discussed, you know? Don't be afraid to have...
And it can be discussed, and you can talk about it.
You can talk about it without raising, we're wrong, da 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 da. Be fucking mature with it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to go and end it before we go ahead and venture off more into it, because like I said, like we both said, you know, there's not much more to discuss.
Nope.
Something needs to change in this country, something needs to happen with guns, but...
Whatever it is, I'm open to it, but something needs to focus.
Yeah, we can't just keep things the same way, because more children shouldn't lose the opportunity to progress their future or see a better future than what our kids see now. But, you know, thank you guys so much for listening to us. You guys got to see a lot of behind the scenes of how the show came about, which is lighthearted. me and the teacher have a really good dynamic. We hope you guys...
Apparently, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys see that dynamic too, or can hear that chemistry. Hopefully it doesn't just sound like two drunk assholes talking to each other.
Although I've been open to that. That's what it is. Sure.
But yeah, thank you guys for the continued support. I'm going to say that every single week. I don't care.
Yeah. And emails how funny I am. That'd be great.
Right. Tell the teach. Don't tell me. It's like you tell me, hey, the teacher's really funny. I'm like, yeah, I know. I wouldn't have a show with them. I wouldn't be fucking, jeopardizing my, reputation with them if he wasn't funny, But yeah, keep sending us fan emails. We haven't got one in a while. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
So, continue to share us, continue to give us emails, continue to give us topics, because we really do want to base this off of you guys, the viewers.
Right.
And I can say fans, because we have fans, technically.
Again, keep it anonymous. If you want to talk some shit, just...
give us your jerks of the week. We will tell you, we will talk about
Let
your
it be
jerks.
that customer or whatever, and we will read them for filth. And, it's not your name associated with
Exactly.
it.
So I just can't talk about it, but if you hear me complain about a customer... Send in my customer, but under a different moniker, and I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I won't allude anything to it, but thank you guys so much. 24 weeks.
That looks weird, right? With that weird haircut, it don't even make sense, right?
You look cute, man.
Even Mrs. Teach was like,
Mrs. Teach looks the same. Like she looks the same back then as she does now.
Yeah. It's
That's funny
because Mrs. Teach is like, she's like, I can't even see with short hair anymore, and I'm like, good.
Right, you're stuck with it.
Let it go, because they're probably gonna happen.
But on that note, thank you guys as always. I've been David Clare.
I'm the teacher.
No, don't do it. No. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No, I'm a virgin. No.